Good evening. Welcome to the Regional Radio Sports Network. We're broadcasting live this evening from Bethel College at the Y Camp Athletic Center inside the Gates Gymnasium. I'm Paul Condry along with Coach Mark Gardner and Matt Copsey courtside working on stats and all the details. They'll have all the fun stuff as the game goes along, but we're glad that you can join us for Crossroads League men's basketball action here today. The 100th meeting between the Bethel College Pilots and the Goshen College Maple Leafs takes center stage here today from our broadcast location. Coach, longtime rival, Bethel has had their way with the Maple Leafs, 72 wins in the series. It's been all Bethel, but there's been a stretch here where they've only won a couple in a row after a 3-game losing streak when the Maple Leafs were under the leadership of Gary Chubb. However, there's a new sheriff in town, as they say, and Neil Young. People are very, very excited about Neil Young and what he's bringing to the table for the Goshen College Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Neil's high energy, and had a chance to coach against Neil in the junior varsity for a couple years and got to know him, and just a great young coach. There's always a little change there when you bring in a new coach, but the guys are buying into his program, and I look for good things out of this Goshen program.
Pilots on the road, tough luck loss against Indiana Wesleyan. It's one of those woulda, coulda, shoulda games. One of the Pilots probably in the big picture of things, it may help them with the loss, but it's a game that they easily could have won. Yeah,
you leave that game going, we weren't expected to win. We're on the road against the number 1 team in the conference, number 2 team in the country. However, we could have won, probably should have won. A few possessions here or there, but give IU credit. IU hit big shots when they needed to and got good, big stops when they needed to. And so, like you said, in the long run, I think Pilots grow from it, they learn from it, and they become a better team.
A crucial week for the Pilots. Not only do they have a home game here against Goshen, but a very, very athletic and a very talented and as well coached as any club in the conference. Spring Arbor comes to town. So it's a crucial stretch for the Pilots, even though they're at home. You've got to be able to, in this league, win every home game if you're going to have a chance at winning the title.
Yeah, I think every team goes into the regular season. You want to win all your home games. You want to at least split on the road. Make sure that you win the ones you're supposed to. Try and steal one here or there, and that's what separates the teams that make it to Branson from the others. Spring Arbor beat Goshen last week, very well coached. You know, they were down at the half. They came back to win that game. Coach Cottingham always does a good job, regardless of what situation is going on there, of having his team prepared to play.
We're going to see 2 of the top players in the league here today for Goshen, and Stefan Lucky and local product Jerron Jamerson. Jerron, who had a spectacular career here locally at South Bend Washington High School, and he's averaging 19 points a game. Lucky's averaging right around 13.5 points a game. So it's a different type of Goshen team that we've seen in the past. They like to be able to sit back in that 2-3 zone, and then they like to be able to extend it. And the one thing that Goshen does better than anybody in the conference right now, they're the top free throw shooting team at 77%, one of the top free throw shooting teams in America at the NAI Division II level.
Yeah, and they want, like I said, they want to play that 2-3 zone, but offensively they want to get it and go. So once they get a rebound or a force a steal, it's full speed ahead. Jamerson's just an unbelievable athlete, great offensive player, great defensive player. Again, I had a chance to coach against Lucky at Glen Oaks Junior College. Extremely talented, and he makes things go for this team, and kind of the missing link they've had, just bringing that presence.
A little bit later on here in the pregame show, we'll hear from Neil Young, the head coach at Goshen College, and we'll also hear from Bethel College Hall of Fame coach Mike Lightfoot. Coach, before we listen to our interviews and take a timeout, one of the things that's very, very adamant that is it too early to say this is a must-game win for the Bethel Pilots?
I don't think it's a must-win. It's a should-win. And I think that's the approach they're taking. They expect to win. They plan on winning. That's what you do here at the home court. Plus, they're the better team. However, anything can happen. And if you lose this one, you don't panic. You reboot and get ready to go on Saturday, and just know that you got to steal one on the road now to make up for a home loss.
I'm Paul Condry, along with Mark Gardner and Matt Copsey. We're coming to you live tonight from Bethel College in Mishawaka, Indiana. The Crossroads League round number 2 is coming your way. We're glad that you can join us. And once again, we appreciate our many fine sponsors who are making it happen here today. And certainly without their financial support, we would not be able to get the job done here today. And let's go on over to our friend Matt Copsey, who's going to tell you about some of the wonderful people who make Bethel College basketball a reality.
Yeah, the Bethel College basketball is brought to you by the Gates Automotive Group. They've been serving Michiana for over 80 years. Gates' promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy Road, Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion, South Bend, Gates Island Road, and Gates of Granger. Teachers Credit Union, TCU, is a proud corporate partner of the Regional Radio Sports Network. TCU TCU has the tools to prepare you for financial success. TCU, prepare for the future. Visit them online at www.tcunet.com. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. Beef's is the home of the Coach's Box, heard every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. on WGCS 91.1 FM The Globe. Hacienda Mexican Restaurants, come fiesta with the bestest. Chip salsa, salsa chips. Which came first to your table tonight? There's always something special going on at Hacienda Mexican Restaurants. Cardinal Bus, the official travel partner of Bethel College Athletics. For all your travel needs, call 1-800-348-7487. Mitros Orthopedics, one-on-one attention, world-class treatment. That's what you'll find at Mitros Orthopedics. Dr. Mitros is a respected sports medicine specialist and a leader in hip and knee replacements. Learn more at mitrosortho.com. And the United States Marines, the few, the proud. If you think you have what it takes, call 1-800-MARINES or visit them online at www.marines.com.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admired so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit tcunet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
You get to the top, get hooked in, and then you look over the edge. I was like, no way am I jumping off this tower. I'm staying right here. I'm like, am I ever going to be good enough to be a Marine? When it was all said and done, watching the color guard raise the American flag, I thought, I am a United States Marine.
PFC Keith Palka knows you don't join the Marines, you become one. Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Did you know that Gates Automotive Group is the #1 seller of pre-owned vehicles in Michiana? Gates sells more, which means Gates can give you more for your trade-in. Stop by any of our locations at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy Road, Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion, South Bend, Gates Ireland Road, and Gates of Granger. The Gates Automotive Group has been serving Michiana for over 85 years.
College basketball here today from Bethel College. The Goshen College Maple Leafs are in Down to take on the Bethel Pilots, the 100th meeting between these two basketball clubs. And no, I was not there for all 100 of them. Let's be very clear to start things out. We're visiting with Neil Young, the first-year head coach of the Maple Leafs, and he wasn't here for all of those either. So 100 meetings between two clubs. We haven't been there for them all, but I've been around for probably the last 40 of them. What a great series.
It is a great series. I mean, anytime you got a team that's in such close proximity, you should play each other. You don't see it as much at the Division I level because it seems like everybody's kind of scared to play everybody. Nobody wants to play anybody good, but, we're fortunate enough to be right down the road from, a great program and have the opportunity to play, twice a year. I think it's great.
Well, a lot of people may or may not understand or know the dynamics, but you've had one of the biggest hiccups, if you will, if I can use that term, to describe your life the last couple of years with some health issues. And I'd just like for you to just talk a little bit about the journey and how your faith has been strengthened through this journey and this curveball, if you will, that the Lord threw at you.
Well, yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, I was diagnosed with I was hired in late May, then diagnosed with cancer on June 2nd. My wife and I actually moved to Goshen June 1st, got diagnosed, May 31st, or March 31st, and then got diagnosed June 2nd. So that's been, it has been a hiccup. It definitely was unexpected. It's definitely, affected, what I've been able to do and what I haven't been able to do. But, like you said, it's been something that, as I look back, it's crazy that we've been going through it for over 6 months now. I'm only about a month out from, going into maintenance therapy, which will be a much needed break, which is only once a month as opposed to once a week. But, from a faith standpoint, it's, I've learned so much. It's been a blessing. It sounds crazy, but it has been a blessing. I've always, typical athlete personality. I can do it. I don't need any help. It's forced me to really rely on other people. Rely on the Lord daily for strength. And so from that standpoint, I'm very grateful.
Well, there's a lot of people who have that athletic mentality that they're self-sufficient and self-reliant, and they never lose it. But one thing about the Lord, He's always going to humble us in a way that He thinks we could grow. And I'm sure, from the big picture standpoint, Neil, that your student athletes and everybody at the Goshen College campus has to look at this and say, wow, this guy is one tough cookie, and we can learn a lot from him.
Well, I just, I don't know what other people are saying. I just hope that I'm able to relate to a broader spectrum of people through this experience. I think, a big thing to me is, I truly believe that good can come out of anything. And so I hope that, I know good has come to me personally through this, even though it hasn't been fun. I definitely haven't had a good attitude every day about it. That's for, you can ask my wife, she'll tell you that. But at the same time, like I just hope that I'm able to interact with other people and relate and level with a greater, range of people because of this.
Let's turn our attention back to basketball, because I know that's your passion, and everybody needs a passion point in life. So let's just talk about what you think about your basketball team through the first 8 games.
I mean, my guys are doing, they're in a tough spot. It's hard to play for first-year coaches because we're first-year coaches. I make my share of mistakes every single day, but my guys have been great. I've had to miss a couple practices, because of treatment and medical-related stuff. But they're trying to do everything that I'm asking them to do. And they accept coaching. And from a coaching standpoint, that's all you can really ask. I mean, we're thin right now. We're not the deepest team. They're all learning a new system. There's a lot of excuses that they could make, but they don't make those excuses. They just come in every day. They do what I ask them to do. And I think we're improving. And our record doesn't necessarily show that. But I think as a team, we are getting better every day. And that's the most important thing for us right now.
All right, let's turn our attention to your opponent today and what you have to do to beat the Bethel Pilots.
I think Bethel is one of, if not the best offensive team in the country. And I don't say that to slight them defensively. I just say that because they're just very, very good offensively. They have multiple guys that can make contested shots on a regular basis. And they're the best team we've seen yet at pushing the ball on makes and misses. And so, to beat Bethel, the first thing you have to try and do is make them play half-court basketball offensively. And that is one heck of a task, but it's something that we're gonna try really hard to do. And then the second thing you have to do is you have to score with them, because they're gonna score. I don't care how good you are defensively. I don't care how much you work on guarding their stuff. They have good players, and good players are gonna score. And so we have to try and make them play half-court basketball. We have to get rebounds when they miss, and then we have to execute at a high level offensively.
Neil, best of luck, and prayers are with you, buddy, as you're going through this fight.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Once again, Neil Young joining us here, and we'll be back with more of college basketball right after this on Regional Radio Sports. Looking for somewhere to hang out and watch the big game, or a fun place to take the family out for dinner? We go to Beef O'Brady's. That's right, the new Beef O'Brady's at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road in Granger. Open 7 days a week for lunch starting at 11. Beef O'Brady's features great ribs, wraps, plus you can also build your own burger. Beefs can also cater your next event, and it's the private party room that you can't go without. Make no mistake about it. Check us out on Facebook, or call 574-271-1415 for more information. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. Once again, we're glad that you can join us here today on Regional Radio Sports. I'm Paul Condry, and along with Mark Gardner. Later tonight, we're going to be visiting one-on-one with senior Ryan Benner. That'll come up at halftime, so I encourage you to stay tuned for that. But earlier this evening, I spent some time one-on-one with the skipper of the Pilots, Mike Lightfoot. College basketball here today on Regional Radio Sports. The Bethel College Pilots play host to the Goshen College Maple Leafs, the 100th meeting between these two institutions. Pilots have a commanding series lead with 72 wins on the card, hoping to win their third straight in the series. We're visiting with Mike Lightfoot here on the pregame show here today from Bethel College. Michael, first of all, Crossroads League play, this is game number 2 coming into this. Let's kind of reflect back on the opener on the road at Indiana Wesleyan. I thought the kids really, really competed, and for me, once again, as an old coach, as a guy who's been around sports my whole life, competition is a great place to start to build a championship team.
Well, yeah, on the road, and I thought that, there were some things that we could have done better, but there was a lot of good things that we did, and, you want to get that win. You got to, it was set things really well for us to start the year, but we didn't, and so I told our guys we went from tied for first, and now we're tied for last. And so, that's just the way the grind of the conference is, and now you got to dig that dirt, dust yourself off, and get ready for the next game.
What did you like as you reflect back on the game against IWU? I certainly thought that the foul situation certainly wasn't the happiest with, but I look at Matt Schaus spending some time on the bench in the first half, and he exploded in the second half, and I thought he gave us some great minutes.
Yeah, Matt played really, really solid. I thought that, we got great play out of Zach, and they were face guarding him. They made his shots tough, but he still was able to knock down some key shots. And, those things went really well for us. I thought that, we had to play with a tough hand because we had Patrick in foul trouble, and I guess when that happens, other people are going to have to step up. But, yeah, Matt really carried us the second half, and, attacked the basket well. We were able to get good looks, and, we were just one possession away and winning the thing, and that makes it frustrating as a coach. But at the same time, you got to realize that it's a tough place to play, and Indiana Wesleyan is a great basketball team.
When you look at the way some of the young kids, you look at Caleb Ochin and Ryan Wasink really thrown into battle in Crossroads League play for the first time. We could throw those first 8 games out the window. How were you happy with the way they responded? They certainly, I think they got caught up in a little bit of that nerve game there for a while. What do you think?
Well, I think it's common. You're putting freshmen in a tough situation, and in a tough place to play, and a lot at stake. You're playing a ranked team. I thought that they had their good moments and they had their tough moments. That's just part of what they're going to do is growing up as freshmen. But I think there was positive on both sides, and I think that Ryan gave us some key buckets that he hit. Got a key bucket inside and finally dropped a jump shot on the outside, and I think he's going to be fine, especially when he gets rid of that mask. He's got about 2 more weeks for that mask, and once he gets that mask away, I think you'll see him really step up and play solid.
Okay, let's turn our attention to Goshen. Boy, what an interesting story they have been during the offseason, hiring Neil Young, great young kid coming in as a head coach, and a kid who's had his own fight and his own adversity trying to fight through some cancer issues. So let's just talk a little bit about the new look, if you will, of the Goshen College Maple Leafs and their new young head coach.
Neil's done a great job with them. I really am impressed. As you watch them on tape, you see a lot of good things they do, and they have really 2 outstanding freshmen that have coming in and added to the mix. I just like the makeup of their team. I like the guys that have come back, and Jerron Jameson's just an incredible player. He's one of the better players in our conference, and it shows by what he does on the floor. He's tough to defend. He's tough to stop. He can go inside and go outside, and then Lucky is one of those just bugs that goes on full tilt all the time, and he's again a guy that can come up with a quick 30, and those guys are both coming off games. In the last 2 games they both scored 30, so you've got to know where they're at all the time and contain those guys all the time, because the thing that makes them so good, and that's why they were able to upset Madonna, they just run the floor so well. Their transition game is really, really pretty special, and if you get them, we like to run, but then you got to look and see, boy, so do they, and they can really get out and go. They come off of that 2-3 zone, and they like to break, and that's something we're going to have to be very, very cautious of today.
Obviously, when you look at the numbers are very, very compelling for the Pilots in regards to bench depth, and I think that it has to be an advantage if you can get these guys. And maybe I'm wrong in thinking this, but I'm looking at the Pilots' minutes played and how deep this group goes. I would think that that's got to be an advantage. Am I right?
Well, I hope so, but at the same time, that's why you play, and they do a great job of conserving their guys. They play a very good, effective zone. They stay out of foul trouble. And the other thing they do is they knock free throws down. So during the dead ball, they're scoring points and resting. So they're second in the nation in free throw percentage, and so you got to keep them off the line, and then also you got to make them work in the zone because if they get transition baskets and can get back and get packed up in that zone again, then they're really tough to play against.
I would think that the game against Andrews certainly has to give you some opportunities when you play against their 2-3 matchup zone. The guys, this is the great thing about playing all these different teams all over the country that you play in the preseason, as you get opportunities. And now that you got this situation, you've been there and done that, right?
Yeah, you do, but every night's a different night. You just don't know how our guy's going to respond, and that's the thing about coaching and about doing this as a profession. You never know how your guys are going to respond and how they're going to come out, and how they're going to respond to shooting the ball, and if they knock in shots, how well that goes, and if they don't knock in shots, how does that go? So I still think the key for us in this game is going to be rebounding. We've got to do a better job of getting to the offensive boards, and we got to be more active on the boards, and that's something that if we're going to be successful in our league, we're going to have to do a better job of rebounding on the offensive end, and that's something that concerns me, and that's something we've got to make a priority.
All right, final question. We'll wrap it up. In specifics, offense and defense, what do the Pilots have to do to be successful tonight and win the game?
Well, the specific thing is we're going to have to know where Lucky is. We're going to have to know where he is. He's the fuel, and then Jamerson. Those two guys, they've got other players that can do a lot of things, but those guys can put a big hurt on you. And so you got to know where they're at. You got to stop their transition. You got to make them earn their shots and not get easy ones. And Lucky can do that in many ways. He can pull up and take the three. He can drive and score. He can do a lot of things. And Jamerson the same way. So you got to really be solid at the defensive end against those two guys.
Once again, Mike Lightfoot joining us here. One of two Crossroads League Conference games for the Pilots this week. They'll be home again on Saturday when always perennial thorn in the Pilots' side, Spring Arbor comes to town. We'll be back with more of Bethel College men's basketball right after this on Regional Radio Sports. Once again, glad that you can join us here on Regional Radio Sports. I'm Paul Condry along with Mark Gardner. Pat Doherty taking care of all the business upstairs here on our video cast along with Brad Brink and Matt Copsey courtside. Conference basketball getting underway here this evening across the Crossroads League. Taking a look at our schedule today, and women's action will be in tomorrow. Tonight, key matchup down in Winona Lake as Indiana Wesleyan travels down to Grace. Mount Vernon and Nazarene will be traveling to Indianapolis to take on Marian University. Huntington will be at Spring Arbor. Taylor will be at St. Francis. Coach, take a look at the standings thus far. Although it just one game in, it's still a win is a win.
Absolutely. You got Huntington, IWU, St. Francis, Taylor, and Spring Arbor came away winners last week. And Bethel, Grace, Marion, Goshen, Mount Vernon all left with their first loss. But obviously Bethel and Grace are going to make their way up to the top of the standings throughout the season. You look for Marion to be real competitive throughout the year. And so a lot of basketball ahead of us, but you never like to start with a loss, especially with that long week ahead of you there. You guys haven't played in a week.
Taking a look at the women's games, and these will all happen tomorrow, and reminding you that we will be with the Lady Pilots tomorrow as they'll travel to the Gingrich Athletic Center, and we'll have that game for you coming up tomorrow at 6:40 Eastern Time. That will be an audio only. Of course, St. Francis and Indiana Wesleyan atop the leaderboard, ranked 4th and 1st respectively. Grace is also ranked in the top 20. So the leaders so far here through the first stretch, St. Francis, IWU, Huntington, Spring Arbor, and Grace, all winners in their first game, thus setting the stage for Bethel, Marion, Taylor, Goshen, and Mount Vernon and Nazarene to go 0-1. Tomorrow's action features Bethel at Goshen, Grace at Indiana Wesleyan, Spring Arbor will be at Huntington, Marion will be at Mount Vernon and Nazarene, and St. Francis will be at Taylor. That'll give you an idea on what we can anticipate tomorrow in Crossroads League action on the women's side. So glad that you can join us here today on Regional Radio Sports, and thanks some of our fine sponsors, including our friends at Mitros Orthopedics, one-on-one attention, world-class treatment. That's what you'll find at Mitros Orthopedics. Dr. Mitros is a respected sports medicine specialist and a leader in hip and knee replacements. Learn more at mitrosortho.com. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back, and we'll set the stage for tonight's 100th meeting between the Pilots and the Maple Leafs. All coming your way live tonight from the Gates Gymnasium here. Our game being presented in part by, I'll get this through the beginning of this before, I hope so, presented by the Gates Automotive Group on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Jeez.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
The Pilots are in search of their first Crossroads League win of the 2013-14 season after faltering last Tuesday in their conference opening game on the road at Indiana Wesleyan at the Lucky Arena. The loss marks only the second time since 2007-8 that the Pilots dropped the conference opener. The last time the Pilots lost the first game of the conference season, they lost 3 straight, and that was in 2010 through 2011. The Pilots and the Maple Leafs will meet for the 100th time tonight, with the Pilots holding a 72-27 advantage in the series. The Pilots swept the season series last week, including a 105-67 victory here at the Gates Gymnasium. Since appearing in the NAI Division II Top 25 Coaches Poll at the number 24 spot on December 12, 2007, after a 42-week absence, the Pilots have appeared in 44 of the 73 Top 25 Coaches Polls since that date, including a top 10 ranking in 29 of those 44 polls. The Pilots, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. The Pilots come in averaging 94 points a game, giving up 69. Pilots are out-rebounding their opponents 41-31. Pilots are averaging 13.5 turnovers per ball game, shooting 74% from the charity stripe, 54% from the field, and eye-popping 50%, including 84 three-point baskets in 9 games for Bethel. They're averaging 19.5 assists, 8.5 steals, and nearly 3 block shots per ball game. Now, conversely, for the Goshen College Maple Leafs, they come in averaging 72 points per ball game, giving up 74. They've been out-rebounded by their opponents 32-29. They're averaging 13.5 turnovers a game, 16 helpers, 6.5 steals, 4 block shots per contest. They're shooting 33% from beyond the arc, 49% from the field, and shooting a scorching red hot in today's era, I should say, 77% from the charity stripe. Coach, that may not seem like that's very good if you look at some of those great teams back in those old fundamental years where fundamentals were priority number 1. But 77% in today's day and age, that's not too bad.
No, and that's as a team. And so you're bringing in some of these guys that are shooting 57% and 33% from the foul line. But, you got starters shooting 92%, 82%, 81%, 80%. So, even though that average is number 2 in the nation, the individual players are even above that. And so it's key when you get down the stretch, knock down big free throws. We've seen that hurt the Pilots for the past couple of years.
All right, you've had a chance to see this series kind of develop. We have a brand new coaching situation here in Neil Young. I know everybody who's had any interaction with the young man here to our right is walking away saying this is a really special young person.
Yeah, I sit next to you and listen to these pregame interviews all the time, and you just get goosebumps listening to Neil talk because he's real, he's honest, his faith shows through, but he relates to his players, and he recognizes as a first-year coach it's hard, and they're working through that. And you just hear him talk about my guys, and he loves his guys, and they love him, and that's why they play so hard for him.
Well, I tell you what, we're glad that you can join us here on Regional Radio Sports and the video cast. We're going to go over to Brian Miller for our opening announcements.
Your attention, please. Goshen College volleyball players, official spectators of tonight's contest. As a number of the NAI and Crossroads League are committed to the future competition as champions of character, encouraging 5 core values, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, true leadership, and sportsmanship. We ask each of you, as a participant, as an official,
or as a spectator, to abide by these values by creating a positive environment in which our athletes may participate, our officials may work, and you, the spectator, may enjoy. Fans, please enjoy tonight's contest. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask you to please rise and kindly remove your caps as Bethel College freshman and pilot cheerleader Jordan Infield leads us in tonight's opening prayer.
Dear God, thank you for bringing everyone here today. Watch over the players and keep them safe from injuries. Help us remember that we are here to glorify you with our talents and our actions. Keep us safe on the road as we leave. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Thank you. Fans, please remain standing as we honor America and those who serve and protect our great country with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Bethel College Music Ministry Team, Justified.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight what the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Spectacular. Justified here today, and
once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Goshen Gymnasium here on the campus of Bethel College. This is the YCAM Center.
A lot of talent.
Thank you for attending tonight's men's basketball Crossroads League matchup featuring the Maple Leafs of Goshen College and your Bethel College Pilots. Fans, tonight's official game sponsor is Cardinal Buses. Cardinal Buses, the official transportation provider of Bethel College Athletics. Let's meet the starting lineups, brought to you by Martin's Supermarkets. Count on Martin's for service and savings. First for the visitors from Goshen College. Starting at one guard position, a 6'1" freshman from Medina, Ohio, wearing number 2, Billy Geschke. At another guard for the Leafs, a 5'10" junior from Cassopolis, Michigan, number 11, Stefan Lucky. Also at guard, a 6'4" senior from South Bend, Indiana, wearing number 13, Jerron Jamerson. At a forward for Goshen, a 6'4" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, wearing number 30, Matt Glick. And at another guard, a 6'3" freshman from Anderson, Indiana, number 33, Trey Boyd. Head coach of the Maple Leafs is Neil Young.
Maple Leafs a year ago with only 8 wins and 21 losses under Gary Chupp. who is now the athletic director at Bethany Christian High School out in Elkhart County. We're glad you can join us here today. And the Bethel video up on the screen. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, BC fans of all ages, Wycamp Blackos, let me hear you. Now is the time to make some noise. Now here's the starting lineup for your Bethel College Pilots. At one guard, a 5'10 sophomore from Pearl, Indiana, wearing number 5, Travis Smith. At another guard for your Pilot 6'4 junior from Greens Fork, Indiana, number 20, Matt Schultz. Also a guard for your Pilot 6'1 junior from Connorsville, Indiana, number 22, Zach Miller. Also a guard for BC, 6'4, a senior from Mishawaka, Indiana, number 34, Ryan Benner. And the man in the middle for your Pilots, 6'6 senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 41, Patrick Edding. Bethel coaches are Tony Natale, Ryan Lightfoot, head coach of your Pilots in his 27th season. A 1978 Bethel graduate is Mike Lightfoot.
All right, there you have all the particulars. Our officials, Matt Copsey. Who's the call tonight?
Kyle Smith, Bill Forehand, Eric Lowe.
All right, we're glad that you can join us here on Regional Radio Sports. Goshen College decked out black shorts with the purple trim. The numbers are solid white. Goshen College written in white, trimmed in purple on the front of the black jerseys. Bethel College, traditional home white shorts and jerseys. The blue numbers trimmed in gray. Bethel written in blue, trimmed in gray. Glad that you can join us. Bethel will move from left to right on your screen if you're viewing here, or if you're listening via the audio. From left to right, Goshen conversely from right to left. We are ready to get underway. The 3-5 Maple Leafs against the 8-1 Bethel College Pilots. Probably before the game is over, we'll have the NEI Division II rankings. And the ball is controlled by the Pilots as Patrick Edding wins the tip against Jerron Jamerson. And we'll wait for the clock, I guess, Coach.
And that's a rare error by Jim Rome, one of the best scorekeepers in college basketball. There's so many times that bucket goes in, and I look to see him put the points on the board, and they're already on the board. And so caught Jim by surprise there at the opening tip.
So the Pilots from left to right now. Here is Matt Schaus over the timeline, goes right side now to Edding. Quickly on the far side, now they go on inside now here to Pat Edding for the deuce. Nice little alley-oop finger roll that time from Pat off the assist from Matt Schaus.
Yeah, we've seen that set play off the 2-3 zone where you swing the ball and then set the back screen for the lob to Pat.
Goshen College in the half-court set now. Right elbow here is Glick handing it off. Jump shot from the right side by Geschke is good. It's a tie ball game at 2-2.
Pilot's going to have to find Geschke, get a hand up on him. He's a nice shooter from the outside.
Matt Schaus at the top of the ring now. Swings that left side now to Miller. Now in the corner to Benner. Cross-courts it now to Schaus on the ring. Wrap around to the inside, and Pat Edding lost the handle on it, but I believe it trickled off the fingertips of Trey Boyd, and it'll be Bethel basketball to inbound.
That's a great look by Matt Schaus there.
Matt passes out here to Zach Miller. Wide open three from 27 off the iron, no good. Ripped out of there by Jerron Jamerson, the former South Bend Washington standout. He hedges it over here to Stephon Lucky, who's decked out in the orange gym shoes. Over here on the near wing now to Trey Boyd. The Anderson product here is at the top, spins inside the lane, swings it here to the left side now to Matt Glick. Quickly on the far wing now, Stephon Lucky, the Glen Oaks Community College transfer. Hedges off a screen, jump shot from beyond the arc, no good. Ryan Benner, the Mishawaka product, hauls down the pumpkin. Here's Benner. Right side now to Miller, back inside, touch pass to Benner, shot on the way, no good, rebound. Benner hustles after it. Back over here to Matt Schaus. Matt inside to out here to Pat Edding. Pat strong to the goal, and he scores. 4-2, Pat's got all four.
Great recognition by Schaus there at the top of the key, and Edding finding the soft spot in the zone again.
Over here on the near side now is Trey Boyd, and we have a foul on the perimeter. Kyle Smith with the call out here.
Matt Schaus picking up his first.
Matt got in some early foul trouble against Indiana Wesleyan, only played 9 minutes in the first half down in Marion. And Stephon Lucky to the left of the lane. Swings it here into the near corner to Geschke. Back out here to the top now to Lucky. Inside to the low post now to Jamerson. Jamerson through a double team. Shot on the way. Oh, a spectacular play by Jamerson as he scores to tie it up.
Great job of splitting the defense there by Geron and then finishing off the glass with a kiss.
Schaus right side now to Miller. Now into the right baseline now to Benner. Inside to Pat Edding. Pat looking for some help and had it stolen away from behind. Up court quickly. Here comes Stephon Lucky. Lucky in transition. Pushes it up. Jump pass to the right corner now to Jamerson. He'll load up the three and he buries the three. Leafs have got their first lead of the evening. Jamerson with 5 now.
Jamerson can play inside, outside, just talented. It all started with defensive pressure though.
Here's Matt Schaus at the point now, crosses over, drives down the left side of the lane, shovels it over here to Pat Edding. Pat back out to Matt. Matt still on the dribble, comes back out to Benner. Benner at the top of the circle, nails the three to tie it up.
Good to see Ryan knock down that three-pointer as he didn't hit one at Indiana Wesleyan.
Across the timeline now, here's Stephon Lucky with a drive, coast to coast, missed it, but Pat Edding is there. Bad defensive effort that time by Bethel. Here's Matt Schaus here at the top. Goes now to Miller on the far corner. Inside of the baseline now to Benner. Shovels it over to Edding. Pat to the goal, and he scores. Pat was 6 of the Pilots, 9 points in the early going.
Well, and Goshen's playing this 2-3 zone, and they got to get out and find shooters. And so Pat's wide open in the middle, just finding the soft spot. Good find by Ryan Benner there on the baseline drive.
5 unanswered points now for the Pilots. Top of the ring now, Billy Geschke. Swings it right side now to Jamerson. Inside of the low post now to Matt Glick. Glick. Turn around right-handed hook is good. A beautiful shot that time to tie up the ball game at 9-9.
Nice little post move there. Goshen calling out a down look out of this 2-3 zone. So we'll see if they trap when a pass goes below the free throw line maybe.
Here is Travis Smith. Foul line extended left. Handoff now there to Matt Schaus. Back to Travis at the top of the ring now. Smith looking. Goes into the right corner now to Miller. Comes around a screen. Shot off the rim. No good. Rebound Jamerson of Goshen College. So Zach Miller, a rare 0 for 2 start.
Yeah, 2 good looks for him as well.
Here's Jamerson out here on the perimeter, one-on-one against Ryan Benner. These two guys went head-to-head for 4 years in high school. Back out here to the top now. Jamerson loads up the triple. Rebound caroms out long off of Schaus into the hands of Boyd. Boyd drives down the lane, left it short, and the rebound into the hands of Travis Smith. Matt Schaus right side now to Miller. Puts on the brakes inside now to Pat. Pat waits for the defender and scores. Pat Edding out of the gates faster than a car at the Indy 500. He's got 8 already.
Doing a great job of running the floor. And again, the Pilots rewarding him. Michael Mislin getting a check in at the brakes. Going to have to keep that up. Run the floor, find a soft spot.
Here's Jamerson. Back out to the top now to Billy Geschke. Geschke goes right side now to Jamerson. Back out to the top of the ring now to Glick. Swings it on the left side wing now to Lucky. Now Lucky dribbles to the top. Stops at the right elbow, looks for some help, and backs it out of harm's way. Swings it over here to Geschke, and Lucky will come back and reset the offense with 9 on the shot clock. Here is the basketball into the hands of Stephon Lucky. He loads up the three-point bomb and knocks it down. Leafs back in front, 12-11, here at the 14:55 mark.
Good defense by Pat Edding, just a real good shot by Lucky.
Here's Pat Edding driving inside the lane, and he had it packed away from behind by Trey Boyd. And a timeout on the floor. Maple Leafs 12, Pilots 11, 14:49 to go, first half. We'll be right back after this brief timeout on Regional Radio Sports.
The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen in action each day by the Gates family with their involvement in the local community. The Gates family has been actively involved with many of our local churches, colleges, and universities. Gates Automotive Group is family-owned and operated and has been serving Michiana for over 85 years.
I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Back live to our broadcast location, 12-11. Maple Leafs here at the media timeout. Very well played ball game for both clubs on the offensive side of things.
And defensively, the Pilots doing a better job defensively than Goshen. Pilots getting easy looks on the offensive end, but Goshen just knocked down 2 threes with the Pilots playing good defense.
As the Pilots made some substitutions during the last break, Landon Booker's in the ball game now along with Michael Mislin. Here's Book with the basketball at the top, swings it right side now to Miller, inside to Benner on the right baseline. Benner had it knocked out of his hands, out of bounds.
Good job by Goshen trapping there in the low post pass. Miz has got to find that spot that Edding has got to be active there in the paint.
So Matt Schaus to trigger the inbounds here in the right corner. Comes out to Zach Miller on the right wing. He gives it back out to Schaus at the point. Matt bounce pass to Booker. Booker up and under, and he scores. Nice play and a great pass by Schaus.
Yeah,
13-12 Bethel.
And that's all made available, Paul, because you got Zach Miller over in the corner, and so the defender's got to honor the shooter, so Booker cuts back door to the open lane.
With the basketball here on the perimeter now. Here's Landon Booker with the steal. Landon on the drive, shooting and scoring. Landon with back-to-back field goals to give the Pilots a 15-12 lead.
Apparently Landon doesn't like us calling Caleb Ochin instant offense. He wants to bring his own offense off the bench.
Evidently. With the basketball here now, Jake Clemens checked into the basketball game, the last dead ball, a 6-foot junior, and a whistle inside. Jake Clemens went to Christopher Dock High School in Telford, Pennsylvania. And other substitutions, Trevor Commissaris from Traverse City West High School in Traverse City, Michigan, checks into the ball game now, number 34. You'll see him on your screen. And also onto the floor will be Cincinnati product. He went to Hughes High School. And that will be Terry Cook. Here's the jump shot, no good, but a rebound put up, and the Pilots missed a back out. Matt Glick scores to get the Leafs within one at 15-14.
Yeah, Miz has got to get that rebound. He was boxing his guy out, but he had a hand on the ball. He's got to corral that.
Caleb Ochin here in the right corner, over here to Booker. Booker drives past the defender, shot on the way, no good. Rebound, Mislin tips it, and that's going to be a foul on Mislin.
That's a tough call there.
That will be the second foul and the third foul on the Pilots. Still no fouls on the Maple Leafs. 7 minutes into the game, which is really not a surprise when you're playing zone defense.
No, not at all.
Pilots are bringing the heat this time, and here's the ball deflected off the fingertips of Terry Cook. And the turnover there gives Bethel the basketball as Matt Schaus to trigger the inbounds just about 9 feet from my vantage point.
And those are the frustrating turnovers. Really the Pilots had some full court pressure, but not enough to force a bad pass like that.
Stephon Lucky will check back into the contest now, and out of the game will be Jake Clemens, the 6-foot junior. So Neil Young giving his star guard Stephon Lucky a blow, and that's it. Here's Schaus knifing through the zone defense, goes to Booker on the far wing. Landon comes back out to Matt Schaus at the point. Matt directs traffic, goes left side now to Landon. Landon fakes the pass, comes back to Matt at the top. Matt loads up the triple, off the iron, no good rebound. Benner taps it out, but right into the hands of one of the Maple Leafs. Up court quickly. Oh, here's a steal. Pilots 3-on-1 breakout. Here's Schaus, right side to Benner. Benner to the goal, and he missed the shot, but tipped up and in, but no. And finally, Mislin tries to go strong, and there's going to be a foul called on the Leafs. That ball should have went in.
Absolutely. Pilots have a 3-on-1 break. They got to finish that. Benner anticipated contact and just kind of threw it up there, and there was no contact. A real good defensive play there by Matt Glick.
Ryan Benner will join us at halftime. Here's a pass inside and a foul call as Benner was setting up shop inside the low post left side.
Yeah, caught Cook sleeping there, just stepped right in front of him, and Cook leaning over the back, it is a foul.
And just like that, a quick 2 fouls on the Leafs. Here's a pass inside to Landon Booker, back to Mislin. Cross court sitting out to Ochin. He goes into the corner to Schaus. Now inside to Miz. Back out to Matt. Schaus at the point. Matt loads up the jump shot, knocks it down from 3. 18-14. Pilots, their biggest lead is on the score sheet right now.
And saw Matt shoot real well at the at Marion there against Iowa.
Here's the ball stripped out of the hands by Landon Booker out of Stephon Lucky. And for Matt Schaus, that is his 7th three-point basket of the season.
And Lucky went right over to Kyle Smith, and Kyle said, I'm not going to have any of that, and he made a motion over to Neil Young and said, get him under control. I'm not going to deal with it. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out here.
From left to right now. Here's Caleb Ochin. Double team back here to Pat Edding goes into the right baseline now to Brandon Gerber, back to Edding. Back over here into the far corner now to...
It's a bad pass by Book. Pat Edding was wide open at the elbow.
Here is Billy Geschke on the right wing now. Goes now on the right wing now to Terry Cook. Cook lobs it inside to the low post now to Trevor Commissaires. Double team and a foul on the double down that time.
That's it.
Whistle that one against Caleb Ochin.
Thought Caleb had all ball there. Ref said he got him on the wrist. So
Ron Jamerson will check back into the ballgame. Matt Glick, the 6'4 senior from Orange Central High School, will exit stage right. Goshen to inbound the basketball to the left of the lane. Stefan Lucky to trigger the inbound. Brandon Gerber and Jerron Jamerson getting some of that entertainment value from our local official.
Brandon Gerber is not going to back down from anybody, and so he's going to bring a little of that nastiness off the bench for the Pilots.
Terry Cook exits, and back into the ballgame is Trey Boyd. Ball here at the top now, Jamerson to the left side now to Geschke. He loads up the triple off the iron, no good. Nice rebound by Pat Edding. Up to Landon. Landon puts on the brakes. Ochin, three-point bomb at the top. Book it.
It's our guy coming off the bench.
21-14 as CO is able to knock one down at the 11:57 mark. Bethel has its biggest lead by a touchdown and an extra point. Stefan Lucky, one-on-one with Booker, had it stripped away. Landon with great defensive pressure. Miller, right wing for three. In and out, no good. Rebound deflected. Gerber keeps it alive.
Good hustle.
Out here to Zach Miller. Zach Miller on the far wing now. No harm, no foul. Over here to Landon Booker on the right wing right in front of me. Book gives up the dribble to Zach Miller. Back out here to Ochin on the far wing. Inside of the little post to Pat. Pat powers to the goal. Had it stripped away and it went out of bounds. But once again, good move by Pat to go strong to the goal.
Yeah, real good post entry pass there by Caleb Ochin and good defense by Commissaires.
So Ochin to inbound the basketball to the left of the lane. Goes inside now to Pat Edding. Pat lost the handle on it, strips it over here to Gerber. Gerber missed the layup. And here comes Billy Geschke in the Maple Leafs. Stripped away, Bethel on the 3-on-0 break. Caleb Ochin with the left-handed layup in the score. 23-14. Neil Young is going to take a timeout. He needs one. 11:08 to go.
Yeah, trying to settle his team down there. Book's coming off the bench, just creating some defensive pressure like he always does, forcing those turnovers.
Since the media timeout, Matt Copsey, at the 14:49 mark, the Pilots here at the 11:08 mark have been on a roll.
Yeah, Pilots on an 8-0 run currently. Ochin with 5 points there, and Pilots shooting very well from the field here in the early going.
You know, guys, I would think at this stage of the ball game, you're up 23-14, and your leading scorer hasn't put one in the hoop yet. You have to feel encouraged.
It's one of those things. Yeah, that's why it's a team sport. It's not an individual sport. And we talked about Kyle Smith and Lucky having a conversation. Kyle came over and talked to Coach Young during that timeout, and Coach Young spent the first 30-45 seconds of that timeout trying to get his point guard's head in the right place because they need him if they're going to have a chance tonight.
Our coverage of college basketball today being presented by the Gates Automotive Group, and certainly thank our friends at Gates, my dear friend Bill, and all the wonderful things he's done for our team throughout the course of our relationship here with the college. Matt?
Yes, check out the new Gates of Granger on State Road 23. The Gates of Granger is a full-service shop for brands and models. With their state-of-the-art base painting and body shop, you can't go wrong when it's time for all your detailing work. At the Gates of Granger, you can see and buy the top 10 models of pre-owned cars, pickups, SUVs, and vans. The Gates Automotive Group celebrating 85 years of integrity.
Back to live play here as Billy Geschke to inbound the basketball. Goes here into the backcourt. Pilots immediately go with the double team. Here's a deflection by Gerber, and then there's a foul called on Stefan Lucky. Boy, great defensive pressure by Bethel as they brought the kitchen sink.
Yeah, run and jump, and you see Gerber coming off the bench. One of the things you saw from Brandon Gerber last year was he was Bethel's best defender. He guarded Bruce Grimm Jr. He guarded the other team's best player, and really hasn't found that part of his game this year, and so you see him matched up against Jamerson, so it's nice to see him come create that turnover there.
Landon with 4 points here in the first half, and his free throw is shy.
Saw Book walk in the hallway last night after the JV game and said, "How you feeling?" And he said, "I'm sore, Coach."
He's shooting 78% from the charity stripe, averaging 7 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists per game, 1 steal. He's able to convert 1 of 2, and Bethel has a 10-point advantage at to 14 here with 11:01 to go here in the first half. Here's Lucky over the timeline, hawked out here by Miller. Settles here to the right wing now as he dribbles parallel across from our vantage point. Now back out here to the top now to Trevor Commissaris. Commissaris one-on-one with Edding. Looks, goes now into the left corner now to Boyd. Boyd drives the baseline, shot no good, but a foul called on Brandon Gerber, I believe, who got beat off the dribble over there.
Pat Edding.
Yep. Yeah, Pat's going to pick up his first, team's fifth.
10:41, so my apologies to Brandon. I saw him flying out of that area.
Gerbers was on the weak side, but that's Ochin trying to guard Trey Boyd. That's a tough matchup for Caleb.
Free throw no good, that time by Trey Boyd, the freshman from Anderson High School. 11 points, 6 rebounds, 80% so far from the charity stripe, and he'll have one more. At the 10:41 mark, he'll try to help the Leafs cause, and he does so. It's 24-15. So 1 of 2 for Boyd. Here's Benner. Back out here to Landon Booker in between the rings. Back to Ryan Benner. And Ryan Benner will set up and run the offense at the top now. Goes to the right side now here to Miller into the corner now to Gerber. Give and go. Here's Miller going to the goal. Had a shot blocked away by Jamerson. Nice little defensive play that time by Jamerson. Here's Jamerson back to the way travel with a basketball. And if you're thinking about traveling, you need to be thinking about Cardinal Bus. For all your travel needs, 800-348-7487. So Ryan Bennell to move it up from left to right across the timeline now into the forecourt.
Goshen extending that 2-3 defense now, more of a 3-2 look.
So Benner still on the dribble. Comes to the left side now here to Landon Booker. Back out to Benner at the top of the ring now. Back to the left side now to Landon. Back out to Benner at the point. Zach Miller finally goes to the right baseline now to Pat Edding. Back out here to Miller. Miller back out to the top. He fakes on the drive. Jump pass over here to Miller. 3-point shot for Zach Miller. It's nothing but the bottom of the net. 27-15. Zach Miller knocks it down. That's his 44th three-point basket of the season. 27-15 Bethel College. Here is Lucky at the top of the ring now. Backing it out, heads off a screen from Commissaris. He'll load up the triple, off the iron, no good. Ball bounces up and hits the basketball support, and it'll be Bethel basketball.
Last possession by the Pilots. Zach Miller gets that 3 because Benner's able to penetrate the zone. They've either got to find Gerber in the middle of that zone at the high post, or they've got to be able to dribble, drive, and break down that defense. Suck the defense in, find your shooters on the outside.
Our coverage of Bethel College basketball being produced today by Pat Doherty and Brad Brink up there, taking care of all the audio and video technical things. Thanks to those great gents for their support here on this. Here is Pat Edding. Left elbow goes now to Ryan Benner in the far corner. Back here to Pat at the elbow. Lobs it inside now to Schaus. Matt backing in. Oh, a nice shovel pass, but a great play at time by Lucky to strip it away. And a timeout Goshen College as Travis Smith is hustling after the basketball with Matt Glick. We're going to take a quick timeout. 9:05 to go first half. Bethel a 27-15 leader on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can't. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Just kidding.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul Condry, Mark Gardner.
Hey, Paul, can we give a quick shout-out to former Bethel student assistant Andy Baker, whose wife welcomed the little one into the world. Yeah, little Blair Baker into the world.
All right, Bake, way to go, man. News Goshen moving from right to left. Over the timeline off the press, Billy Geschke here at the top, swings it right side. Back near in the next near wing is Trey Boyd. Back on the near wing now is Lucky. Goes inside to Jamerson on the low post. He's going to back in on Ryan Benner. Comes back out to Lucky. We're able to play two-man game. And here is a traveling call on Jerron Jamerson. Matt Copsey.
That's 8 turnovers for Goshen right now.
All righty.
Compared to 3 for the Pilots.
Kyle Smith's going to step in and overrule that one. Kyle's going to say that he had a push in the back before the travel.
Instead, the foul's going to go on Ryan Benner, and that's going to be Benner's second.
And Ryan Wasink will put on the headset and the face mask and will come in as Benner will come out. So the freshman, you heard Coach Lightfoot talk about the Wasink and Ochin, they're going through some growing pains. Here's Glick with the basketball for Goshen. Double team here on the near block. Tries to dribble out of harm's way and does so to Billy Geschke at the top. Billy on the crossover. Dribbles to the left corner, stops, reverses it to the top. Stolen by Travis Smith. Travis 2-on-1 with Matt Schaus. Mash to the goal, and he scores off the assist.
Another steal by Travis Smith on the inbound.
There's Travis right here to Pat Edding. Pat Edding down the lane, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Pat Edding. You got to be kidding me.
Kyle's having a tough night here.
Oh, my goodness.
Great steal by Travis. Great pass. Good finish by Schaus. And another good steal by Travis. And,
2 fouls on Edding.
Yeah,
now.
Pat's got 2 fouls, so he's going to head to the bench. So Gerber's going to come on the middle of that post.
So on the floor, it'll be Matt Schaus, Brandon Gerber, Travis Smith, Zach Miller, and Ryan Wasink on the floor for the Pilots. As Billy Geschke checks out, and back into the contest will be Terry Cook. And to inbound the basketball from right to left will be the Leafs. Here's the ball knocked away by Zach Miller, but into the hands of Boyd. Trey Boyd goes inside, shovels it over here to Terry Cook, and Terry Cook scores off the deflection, 29-17 in favor of the Leafs. 8:04 to go. Zach Miller, three-point bomb in the corner. He is smooth as silk. Three-point shot good.
Steal by Travis Smith. He stepped on the end line. Great job by Brandon Gerber to recognize. He could have forced that jump shot, but he gave the ball right back to Zach Miller.
If I'm not mistaken, for Terry Cook, that's his first points of the ball of the season.
And I'm sure that's how they drew it up, that they were going to bounce it off Boyd's knee, flip it, have Schaus hit it out of the air, right to Cook for the assist, right?
Jamerson here in the backcourt will drive up the near sideline. He crosses over, and he'll drive the length of the floor. Shot no good. Rebound. Gerber handles it. And then here's a foul call on Jamerson. He was out of control from the time he ran past our vantage point. He's trying to do too much because there's just, to be honest with it, this supporting cast isn't as good as the Bethel supporting cast.
Yeah, and that's one of those where we saw that at PNC. You get beat in the full court press, but because they're out of control, you get the turnover later on down the way or the bad shot. Good to see Gerber again hustling after that rebound.
Travis Smith over on the far wing now. On the crosses over, backs off. Now here to Matt Schaus, lobs it over here to Zach in the corner. Zach for three, shot no good. Rebound. Wasink tips it out here now to Gerber. Gerber always beautiful pass to Miller. Oh, and Zach flew down the lane and had it miss. Up the near side here is Matt Schaus knocking the ball out of the hands of Terry Cook. Great defense by the Pilots.
Great defense, great pass by Brandon Gerber again. Brandon struggled at IWU, and he really seems focused tonight, and I hope he continues this good play.
Here is Terry Cook with the basketball, guarded by Miller. Comes left side now to Stephon Lucky. Now to Trey Boyd in the near corner. Swings it back here to the left elbow now. They'll go to Jamerson. He shoots up the 19-footer from the right side, no good. Wasink did a nice job of boxing out, and that caused Matt Glick to tip it out of bounds.
Good defense by Gerber getting a hand up. Good box out and good position by Ryan Wasink. Fundamentals. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They still play a key role in basketball.
Oh, I love to see that. Matt Schaus.
Got to get Gerber here at the foul line or Wasink. There goes Gerber flashing.
Here's the ball in the hands of Miller. Miller now here to Brandon Gerber. Gerber comes back out to Matt Schaus at the point. Matt waits for a cutter. And a foul called on Terry Cook. And there's that hand check call that we're going to see a lot in college basketball.
If they stay consistent, we should see a lot of those.
Yeah, Cook picks up his second, team fifth.
Schaus back out here to the top now to Travis Smith. Smith gives up the dribble now to Matt here on the near wing. Matt dribbles all the way to the far wing. Remains on the dribble, and he'll load up the jump shot. And a foul called on Brandon
Hit the wire.
No. Okay. So it'll be Goshen basketball. Mislin checks into the ball game now, and Ryan Wasink will check out.
Get Mislin up at the point of the press. Pilots like to have his long arms up there. Trapping first pass.
Trey Boyd to trigger the inbounds to the right of the lane as the Leafs got to go from right to left. They're a 32-17 trailer. Here's Cook with the basketball and a blocking foul called on Michael Mislin. And the Leafs will come down and shoot free throws from here on in now.
Yeah, Mislin picks up his second. That's 8 on the team right now.
2 for Mislin, 2 for Edding. So you're probably going to see Wasink come back in and see Wasink and Gerber finish the half maybe.
And this is where Goshen has been very, very effective so far this campaign, shooting 77% at the charity stripe.
It frustrates me as a coach that when they
free throw off the iron, no good. So there's a 1 and bonus miss right there at the 6:36 mark. Zach Miller, right wing, shovels it inside to Mislin, and Mislin throws it away.
Soft pass. Gerber's got to stop a little shorter, but got to have a good, strong pass.
Here's Lucky back the other way, driving. Shot rejected, but a foul whistled inside, and that'll send Stefan Lucky, who's a product of Cassopolis, Michigan, a 5'10 junior. I want to say hi to one of my students listening in Indianapolis today, Vincent Ash, who's the cousin of Stefan Lucky. Told me he was going to be checking it out. He was in my broadcast class at Arsenal Technical High School when I was doing that work for the Indianapolis Public Schools a few years back, and was privileged to have Vincent a part of that and had a chance to exchange some Facebook messages with him. So, Vince, welcome to the broadcast. 6:25 to go. Hope we're painting the picture for you.
I was saying earlier, it gets frustrating as a coach when they call those soft touch fouls, 80 feet from the basket, and yet the guy goes up strong for a layup and gets hit hard, and they just let it go and say it's basketball.
Stefan Lucky's free throw is off the iron, no good.
Shooting percentage dropping down tonight.
Yeah, it really has been, and that's not what the
Maple Leafs.
1 out of 4.
That's called the announcer's curse.
The Paul Condry curse right there, talking him up.
Stefan Lucky, 72%, averaging 13.5 points, 2 rebounds. The right-hander finally converts, so he was 1 of 2.
Well, full court 2-2-1 here from Goshen.
32-18 now. Ochin, cross court set here now to Schaus, back to Ochin. Now back to Schaus here on the near wing. Cross court set now to Ochin. Caleb comes back out to Matt at the top. Back over here to Zach Miller on the right wing. Quickly to Ochin on the far wing. Now to the flash, which is Mislin, back to Matt Schaus. Matt with an easy drive down the lane for the goal. 34-18. He is so physically stronger than anybody that he has to compete against, Coach.
Yep, and out Pilot showing a 2-2-1 as well. And that started, though, with Mislin getting the ball in the middle of that zone. Bad things happen when the ball gets in the middle of the zone for the defense.
Here's Jamerson with the drive to the goal, and he scores. 34-20 as the Leafs close it to 14 at the 5:42 mark.
Jamerson with 7 now.
Mislin back to Zach Miller. Miller loads up the 24-footer, and it is good! Zach Miller with another 3-point bomb, and the Pilots lead by 17 at the 5:30 mark.
Back-to-back good passes by Mislin, finding the shooters.
Miller with 9, 3 out of 7 from 3-point.
And here's the drive inside, and here's Jamerson with the two-hand flush.
Yeah, if I'm the Pilots, I get out of the 2-2-1. It's not been good. 2 possessions in a row and 2 layups.
Kyle Smith talking to the official right here.
Checking about a media timeout at the next dead ball.
Here is Zach Miller on the far wing. Comes back to Schaus at the point. Matt looking for some help. Gives up the dribble now to the right elbow to Miz. Miz looks here to the near side now to Ochin. Ochin, the southpaw from 3. Off the rim to good. Jamerson the rebound for Goshen. Up court quickly now. Here's Trey Boyd. Driving at it, stripped away. Nice play defensively. That tie from Matt Schaus, and that's going to be a timeout. Media timeout, I think. Right, Coach?
I don't know. Maybe when Goshen called their timeout, maybe that took the place of the second media timeout.
Yeah, but that was only a 30.
Well, hey, we'll get home quicker if they play through it. That's okay.
Okay. To the left of the lane, it'll be Stefan Lucky. Looks for some help. Nice job by the Pilots to keep an eye on things. And here's Billy Geschke coming off a screen and knocking down the jump shot. 37-24. Leafs have cut the lead.
Real good fundamental pump fake, getting Zach Miller off the ground and knocking down the jump shot.
4 unanswered points now for the Leafs. Here is Wassing. Get over here to Schaus inside to Mislin, and Mislin scores the goal. 39-24 as Michael Mislin's in the score sheet now.
Great cut by Schaus, getting in the middle of the zone. Good find by Wassing.
Matt Schaus, who came into the ballgame averaging 5.7 assists. And here's Matt giving it up to Ochin. Ochin drives with the left hand and scores. 41-24, and just like that 4-0 run by the Leafs.
Another turnover off Lucky's foot there. Zach Miller with the steal.
Zach driving, shooting, scoring. 43-24, a 6-0 run. And a timeout on the floor. Timeout on the floor. The Pilots a 6-0 run. And Coach Neil Young going old school with Billy Geschke. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back right after this on Regional Radio Sports.
The causes with the rain shape of NC.
You get to the top, get hooked in, and then you look over the edge. I was like, no way am I jumping off this tower. I'm staying right here. I'm like, am I ever going to be good enough to be a Marine? When it was all said and done, watching the color guard raise the American flag, I thought, I am a United States Marine.
PFC Keith Balka knows you don't join the Marines, you become one. Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Back live to our broadcast location, Paul Condry along with Matt Copsey and the coach, Mark Gardner, Pat Doherty, and Brad Brink, engineering and producing today's broadcast.
11 turnovers for Goshen College, 5 turnovers for the Pilots, and we've seen those turnovers have come in spurts for Goshen.
Matt, great balance by Bethel here in the early going.
Yeah, 11 points for Zach Miller, 8 for Pat Edding, 7 for Caleb Ochin, 5 for Landon Booker, and 7 for Matt Schaus.
I mean, you can't get anything better than that. With the basketball here on the near side, Glick goes into the low post now to Jamerson, back to Glick. Swings it to the right side, jump shot from 3 is good. Jay Clements knocks down the 3 ball, 43-27.
That turnover there by Schaus.
With the basketball from right to left now. Here is Jamerson losing the handle on it. And we got some scores.
Good hands by Matt Schaus getting back to make up for that turnover, creating a turnover on the other end.
At the half, the Grace Lancers lead IWU 32-31 as Widener spent the first half with 3 fouls.
See Clemens knocks down a 3, and Coach Young had Geschke waiting to check in for him, so they kind of shared a laugh as he came off. Like, good job, way to hit a 3, come sit next to me.
With the basketball, Ochin hands it off to Miller. He loads up the triple and buries the triple, and he was fouled. Oh my, Zach from downtown, and the defender fell into him.
Yeah, after missing those first 2 threes, Zach's now, I think, 4 for his last 5.
And Zach with 47 now on the evening, and Zach with free shot, and he missed the free throw.
It's because he was too close. We saw that at IWU.
So Bethel a 46-27 leader. Stephon Lucky hands it off to Jamerson. Jamerson with a quick step to the goal and just totally beaten off the dribble that time was Ryan Wasink. Boy, I tell you what, that was a mismatch there.
That's welcome to college basketball, young man, where things move a lot quicker than they did last year.
No question about it. So, Jerron Jamerson, who, Matt, you had a chance to spend some time with Jerron Jamerson before the ball game.
Yeah, Jerron, real happy now with the new situation over here. He said it's kind of like a new beginning for him, even though he's a senior. He knocks down the first free throw. He's got 10 points right now. He's real happy right now with everything. He said last year was very frustrating at times, and he said now it's like a breath of fresh air for him.
Well, I tell you what, if you spend 5 minutes with Neil Young, you'll get a breath of fresh air.
Absolutely.
He is one of the best things that's ever happened to the Crossroads League, in my opinion. Got to know him. I've been out to our Coaches Box program, and the folks at Goshen College, in my opinion, made the best hire they have made in 20 years at that institution. Here's Matt Schaus. Free throw line pass to Mislin. Back here to the right side of Miller. Miller for 3. Good again. 49-28. Zach Miller with 5 3-point baskets here in the half.
17 points total.
17 points, and it started though with Mislin getting the ball in the middle of the zone. It opens everything up.
With the basketball here at the top now, here's Billy Geschke. Back here now to Jamerson. Back out to the free throw line now to Glick. Swinging it left side now to Trey Boyd. Boyd crosses over, spins, stolen by Landon Booker. Landon from left to right, coast to coast for the deuce. 51-28. Book with a solid first half on the defensive end.
Yeah, Book now with 7.
7 points for Book, 13 Goshen turnovers.
With the basketball, Glick swinging it right side now to Jamerson. Back here to Trey. Trey Boyd hedges off a screen. Right elbow goes now inside of the low post to Glick. Glick drives down the lane and scores the bank shot. 51-30 at the 157 mark. Here's Schaus back out to Miller, back to Mislin. He fakes, goes to Book on the left elbow. Book spins, comes back to Miller. Miller will load up the three again and rattles it home. Zach Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen anything like it in my life. 6 3-point baskets.
You just assume it's going in when he catches it.
Well, and this is after he missed his first 4 shots total.
With the basketball right wing now, it's Jerron Jamerson. He drives down the lane, and a foul whistled. And Matt, please correct me if I'm wrong. Zach did not score until the 9:39 mark of the half.
No, I had 9:40.
Okay. So in the reality of it, Coach, we're at the 129 mark, and he has what, Matt?
20 points.
20. So he has just gone unconscious.
Since missing his first 4 shots, he's hit 7 out of his last 8. And missed a free throw, too.
Mislin checks out. Gerbs checks back in.
That last foul was on Ryan Wasink, his second.
Free throw was good. 54-31.
Well, and we joked at I with it. Zach thought the volleyball line was a 3-point line, but we saw him in pregame knock down 2 in a row from the volleyball line, so that's his range.
54-32, 125 to go. It's a crazy thing when you have to start picking somebody up when they cross the midcourt line, Coach.
Yes, you do.
Here's Landon Booker at the top of the ring now. Goes to the baseline out of Gerbs, back to Matt Schaus. Matt loads up the 3 and knocks it down.
And then you got Matt Schaus, Ryan Benner, and Caleb Ochin that are going to knock down threes if everybody wants to cheat over where Zach's at.
106 to go, and Neil Young has remained remarkably poised. I guess when you've been fighting cancer, I guess you put it in perspective, right?
It's just a game.
Yep, Stephon Lucky. Here's the ball into the corner now to Jamerson. He's double teamed there. Little 2-man game now. Here's Jamerson with a drive, and he's fouled inside.
Good job by Jamerson of just initiating the contact. He kind of stuck his arm out, got Gerber in the face, and sent himself to the line.
On the floor for the Pilots, it's Schaus, Wasink, Brandon Gerber, Landon Booker, and Zach Miller. Our coverage of college basketball today being presented by our friends at the Gates Automotive Group.
Did you know that the Gates Automotive Group is the #1 seller of pre-owned vehicles?
I knew that. I bought mine there.
Gates sells more, which means Gates can give you more for your trade. And stop by any of our locations: Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Ireland Road, or Gates of Granger. Serving Michiana for over 85 years.
Jamerson was able to knock down a pair of free throws, 57-34 at the 43-second mark. As the Leafs are going to bring some pressure now. Here's Brandon Gerber handing it off here to Booker, and then Matt Schaus puts the thumb up, and he'll run the offense at the top. High post pass here to Gerber, back to Miller, and Miller knocks down the triple again. Zach Miller, a 3-point shooting finish.
And I've said it all night. You get the ball to the free throw line, the defense sucks in, your shooters knock down shots, and Neil Young just rolls his eyes and says, what do you do?
And that's what he said, the assistants were talking about. What do you do?
You go man-to-man defense. You have to.
Over here on the near side now, it's Trey Boyd. Jump shot no good. Brandon Gerber with a nice rebound inside. Over here to Booker. Booker back here to Miller. Miller spots for 3. No good. He finally missed one. Oh, my goodness. 60-34, Bethel College at the intermission. Zach Miller is in fuego. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at a special moment in Bethel College men's basketball when we're seeing one of the most prolific scorers and shooters in the program's history. We'll be back after this timeout, and we'll go one-on-one with Ryan Benner, senior. We're going to, as we continue our interviews through the Bethel College men's basketball program, every conference game, we'll have an interview with one of our Bethel College student athletes. Once again, 60-34 Bethel at the break. We'll be right back after this brief timeout on Regional Radio Sports.
College softball players Mallory Holtzman and Liz Wallace know winning isn't everything.
It's how you hold your head at the end of the game and how you walk off the field.
These two athletes carried their opponent around the bases after she injured herself hitting the winning home run.
What are they doing? Whether you win or lose on the field, if you did the right thing, then you did win.
And they showed us the right thing is sportsmanship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We we were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The Gates Automotive Group has been serving Michiana for over 85 years. The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen each day at Gates Downtown, Gates Chevy World Mishawaka, Gates Toyota Scion South Bend, Gates Island Road, and Gates of Granger. For 85 years, Gates dealerships have been providing great growth opportunities for all of its employees. If you're interested in becoming one of our team members, stop by our family-owned and operated business. For more information on Gates Automotive Group, check out the website at www.gatesautomotive.com.
College basketball here today on Regional Radio Sports here from Bethel College. It's halftime. Ryan Benner's going to spend some time with us and just talk about his experience here at Bethel College. Well, you know, it's senior time, and this is the last go-around, Ryan, and obviously you're probably looking at each venue that you go into this year saying, you know, this is going to be the last time I ever play here. This is going to be the last time I go around. In the first 3 years, you probably never even thought about any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I still don't look at it like that. It's crazy. I remember coming in watching Caleb and watching all those guys lead the way, and still it feels weird sometimes knowing that, you know, I'm Caleb now. I'm that senior, and it's weird, but you know, I'm excited about it.
Give us an idea as you've had to fight through all kinds of ticky-tack injuries, and they're not ticky-tack if it's your body. Believe me, that's not what I'm saying. But it hasn't been one of those injuries where you've had to, like Landon, where he's had to list an entire year. But you've had to fight through some of the adversity. Let's talk about fighting through the adversity at the college level.
Well, it's good that you brought up Landon because I think he's a perfect example, just fighting through, you know, every single day he wants to come out and he wants to get better even though his body might not keep up with his heart sometimes. And, you know, I think he really sets the example for me. He texts me all the time, said, you know, we're getting through this together. And I think it's really about coming out and bettering yourself every day, and Landon's a perfect example of that, I think.
When you reflect back on the first time you walked onto the floor here at the Gates Gymnasium, put on that Bethel uniform, obviously for you live right down the road here. So there may be some emotional ties there, but as you reflect back on that, what stands out in your mind the first time you put on that Bethel uniform and played here at home before the home folk?
Wow, that's a good question, but I think really playing in front of my family is really the biggest thing, because everyone was able to see me throughout high school, and making that transition to college and having my whole family still be able to watch me, I think I was really blessed to be able to do that. And yeah, I think being my senior year, you know, I think it still feels the same, you know, running out. There's not feeling like it running out, and, you know, having the video before, and, you know, lights are out and the crowd's going nuts. There's not another feeling like it.
This team, I've fortunately been around here for about 15 years now. I've seen a lot of great players, a lot of championships, and seen some remarkable things. But the one thing that I really, really like about this group, the intelligence of this group, this team off the court, is really kind of off the charts. You guys are all doing very well academically. Let's just talk about making the transition from a high school level to the college, and then being a great college student athlete.
Well, time management's definitely one thing you gotta learn. I mean, you get off practice and you really have to schedule your time. It's really just like approaching practice. It's really a mindset. You just gotta, you gotta set aside like this is when I'm gonna do it, and really getting it done early and getting homework done, getting studying done. I think time management, you learn so much as a college. Any college athlete can testify to that. Is time management is a huge thing you gotta learn going from high school to college especially.
And you also had to learn how to play defense, too.
2-3. We don't play much 2-3 zone here at Bethel, like in Mishawaka.
Give us that idea as you look at the teams and the programs that you've had a chance to compete about. There's been a lot of guys that say, I love playing here. I love playing against this team. I love matching up with this guy. Over the years, who's been your favorite matchups, favorite teams to compete against? And, that's what you're really going to miss, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Indiana Wesleyan, obviously, they're at the top every year. They're who we're gunning for every year.
them, Grace, I think you can't leave out Grace. Grace is obviously the team I really like to compete against, and tonight against Jerron Jamerson, I played against him for 4 years in high school too, so we've known each other for a while. We always enjoy competing against each other, but obviously Grace has got to be the number one team that I enjoy.
Okay, last year the trip to Branson. This year you come in preseason ranked in the top 10. A lot of expectations for this group. You have a great junior backcourt that does a lot of great things. You got some guys up front who are working hard. So just kind of give us an idea what you like about this season's basketball team.
Well, personally, in my 4 years, I've never been in this situation. Freshman year and sophomore year, we weren't really as good as we could have been. So then junior year, no one really expected us to do anything. This is the first year that, we're expected to do well. And I think with Matt and Zach, they're just unbelievable players. Zach's the best shooter I've ever seen. And, it really helps us that at any given time, we can just, Zach, shoot it from 30 feet and he can hit. But I think our mindset is a lot different this year because we've never had to deal with being, the front runners in the conference. And I think we're handling it well so far, and we're going to continue to try to get better.
Okay, last question, we'll wrap it up. If a prospective student athlete comes to you and says, what can you tell me, why should I come to Bethel College? What are you going to say to them?
I think the tradition, obviously, is the number one thing. You talk about the only two players to win the MVP twice. There's Rico Swanson and Scottie Pippen. That's that tradition, 3 most national championships in NAIA history. So if you want the best NAIA school in the country, it's Bethel College. Just look at the tradition, look at all the players that have come through. And, take one look against the wall, and you're going to see why Bethel College is the best choice.
There you have it, Ryan Benner. Maybe he should be the spokesperson for Bethel College. I think that would be a great place to get. Once again, we'll be back with more of our Bethel College halftime show right after this on Regional Radio Sports. Glad that you can join us. Thanks again to Ryan Benner. Pat Doherty's going to step in, and the polls were just released. So, Pat, you've had a chance to study through those NAIA National Division II rankings. So break it down, man.
Literally just off of the polls. Robbie's been up there hitting refresh every 5 seconds to see when the new poll comes in. Brand new number 1, Embry Riddle, takes number 1-7. First place votes, previously third. IWU, Indiana Wesleyan, number 2. 1 first place vote, previously number 2, so they did not move. South Oregon, 3, 1 first place vote, previously number 4. The previous number 1 team, Cardinal Stritch, drops to 4. They're receiving 2 first place votes. The only non-ranked team before to jump all the way into the top 10 is Indiana Southeast, with 3 first-place votes. Robert Morris in 6th. They stay there. Bethel moves up 2 spots to number 7. Hastings, number 8, tied with Northwood. And Davenport holds their 10th position. Other Crossroad League teams who are ranked. St. Francis is 19th. Receiving votes is Grayson Marion. A couple halftime scores and a score late in the game, Paul. You talked about in the first half. Grace and IWU in a battle, 32-31. That game's still half. 8:24 left to go in the second half. Taylor is trailing St. Francis 38-27. And the other Crossroads League game going on tonight that is playing currently with 18 minutes left to go in the second half. Huntington all over Spring Arbor 45-30.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout and come back. And Matt Copsey's got all the stats. You are listening to Bethel Basketball on Regional Radio Sports.
They were outnumbered, out-equipped. They had no chance of winning, but they had one huge advantage. General George Washington.
The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army. We have to resolve to conquer or die.
Just as the leadership of one man helped form a nation, today leadership can transform the world. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Back live to our vantage point. The Gates Gymnasium at the Y Camp Athletic Center. Bethel on top of Goshen College, 60-34. And here's the man who has all the numbers. As a matter of fact, if we had to put him in charge of our healthcare system, all the numbers would turn out right. Makes no mistake about it. Here he is, Matt Copsey.
Thanks, Paul. For Goshen in the first half, Billy Getschke, 2 out of 4 from the field for 4 points. Stephon Lucky, 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 points. Jerron Jamerson, 4 of 7 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 13 points. He leads the way for Goshen. Matt Glick, 3 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 7 points. Trey Boyd, 0 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 point. Terry Cook, 1 of 1 from the field for 2 points. Jake Clemens, 1 of 1 from the field for 3 points. And Trevor Comissaris played but did not score. Goshen in the first half, 12 of 23 from the field, 52%. 3 out of 8 from three-point range, 38%. 7 out of 11 from the free throw line, 64%. For Bethel, Travis Smith played but did not score. Matt Schaus, 4 of 6 from the field for 10 points. Zach Miller, 8 of 15 from the field, including 7 of 12 from three-point range, 0 of 1 from the free throw line, 23 points. Ryan Benner, 1 of 3 from the field for 3 points. Patrick Edding, 4 of 6 from the field for 8 points. Caleb Ogen, 3 of 4 from the field, 7 points. Landon Booker, 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 7 points. Brandon Gerber played but did not score. Michael Mislin, 1 of 1 from the field for 2 points. And Ryan Wassling played but did not score. Pilots, 24 of 41 from the field, 59%. 11 of 18 from three-point range, 61%. 1 out of 3 from the free throw line, 33%. Bethel won the battle of the boards, 16-15. A lot of guys with 2 rebounds apiece for the Pilots. 4 rebounds for Jerron Jamerson to lead Goshen. 6 assists for Goshen, 3 for Trey Boyd. 18 assists for the Pilots, 7 for Matt Schaus. 15 turnovers for Goshen, 7 for the Pilots. 2 block shots for Goshen, 1 each for Jamerson and Boyd. Pilots with 1 block shot, that belonging to Matt Schaus. 5 steals for Goshen, 3 for Matt Glick, 11 for the Pilots, 4 for Landon Booker, 3 for Travis Smith, and 2 for Matt Schaus.
Coach, the numbers don't lie, do they?
No, they don't. But you look at Goshen shooting 52%, the Pilots shooting 59%. The difference is the Pilots got 41 shots off. Goshen only got 23 shots off.
Well, I think the Pilots' point of pressure at the point of attack has been spectacular. I think the shots that the Goshen College Maple Leafs, outside of the first 6 minutes of the ball game, were contested, if not double-teamed, many triple-teamed, and many of the shots were in a rush, if you will.
Yeah, I think 2 of the first 3 possessions they knocked down 3-pointers, and then the tempo got picked up a little bit, and we talked all year, the depth. You look at the Pilots here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys between 6.5 minutes and 9.5 minutes, and then Schaus and Miller both put over 17 minutes. For Goshen, you got your 5 starters all with 15-plus minutes, almost 16-plus minutes, and so it just wears you down.
What Bethel did is they used their inside game to open up for the outside game. Early on, you saw Patrick Edding hit his first 4 shots. That made things open up for the Pilots for the outside. Zach Miller overcame the problems he had early on, and then he started knocking in shots, and then Goshen, they got to try to find out, and if anything, it would have opened up more for the inside. And I think that's what Bethel might try to do here in the second half.
You know, they say good things happen to those who wait and who are persistent, and certainly that is the case. We want to congratulate one of our favorite all-time Bethel College athletes, member of the Bethel College Hall of Fame, and that would be Eric Stultz, the left-hander from Argos High School, who had a standout baseball and basketball career here at Bethel College. He just going to be turning 34 years old coming up on December 9th. He's coming off a career-high 11 wins last year with the San Diego Padres. He was just awarded a $2.75 million raise. He made $507,600 last season. And what a spectacular effort by a spectacular person. Couldn't be happier for anybody that I've ever been around.
And I believe Eric and his wife make their off-season home over in Middlebury.
Yep.
And for Pilot fans that know Justin Masterson, you got 2 guys in the pros doing great things, but 2 completely different young men. Justin's full of energy and he'll talk to everybody and anybody, and Eric just slow and steady, does his job, and doesn't care if you recognize him or not. He's just out there to throw the ball and get people out.
I was blessed to go down to San Diego this past year. I was embedded with the Marines for a week, and on our one off day, we had a chance to go to see the Padres play, and that's what we did. I had a chance to spend some time with Eric Stultz. It was a pleasure and a blessing. Okay, we're back to live play here in the second 20 minutes of play. The Goshen College Maple Leafs with a basketball here in the half-court set. Here's Jamerson going into the far corner now. to Boyd. Trey drives, shoots, missed the shot, no good. Glick the rebound, and he scores inside. 60-36 in favor of the Pilots as the Leafs score the first basket of the half. On the floor for Bethel College, it'll be Pat Edding, Ryan Benner, Zach Miller, Matt Schaus, and Travis Smith. Here is Pat Edding with the two-hand dunk inside. 62-36. Pat picking up where he left off in the first half.
Edding now with 10.
It's a great high-low look from Benner there from the elbow down to the low post.
On the floor for the Maple Leafs, Billy Geske, Stephon Lucky, Jerron Jamerson, Matt Glick, and Trey Boyd. Here's a jump shot on top by Geske. Rebound, Pilots. Here's Benner over the timeline. Now putting on the brakes here on the left wing. Comes back up the Schaus. Backdoor pass to Smith. Travis bounces it inside to Pat Edding, and he lost the handle on it. Up court quickly. Lucky on the drive. Shovels it over here to Boyd, and Boyd scores off the assist from Stephon Lucky.
And the official does the, when they miss a travel, they just look over the bench and they do like this juggling motion like nobody had control, but Boyd got away with an extra step there.
Here's a lob inside now to Pat Edding. Edding goes inside, and he is hammered. Great look that time by Schaus. The quarterback with the picturesque pass in the corner of the end zone. Absolutely on the money.
Yeah, Goshen looking to extend that 2-3 zone again, and so Pat's wide open. Previous possession there, Pat caught the ball on the low post. No reason to put that on the floor. Just turn and score.
Matt Schaus with 7 assists in that first half. But keep in mind, he comes in averaging 5.7 per ball game. He's able to, as Pat Edding is able to knock down the free throw. And P.O. with one more, and his second free throw no good. Travis Smith keeps it alive, but into the hands of Stephon Lucky. Lucky going over here to Jamerson. Jamerson fills the lane and scores the goal. 63-40. Goshen out and running here now at the 18-21 mark. Travis Smith traveled with a basketball.
16 points for Jamerson.
Yeah, Travis just got a running start on that one. You got to slow down. Even though the Pilots are up by 23, Coach can't be happy with the defensive effort here to start the half. 3 quick scores for Goshen.
Geske inbounds the basketball here to Stephon Lucky. Grayson Iwu tied 37 all, 15:55 to go in the second half. Lucky with the basketball, swings the left side now to Boyd. Trey on the drive, cut out there nicely by Matt Schaus. Comes back out to the top to Geske. Swinging it to Glick. Back out to the top. 3-point shot on the way by Trey Boyd. Caroms off the iron. And Zach Miller pushing the ball up. Now here to Matt Schaus. Back to the trailer. Here is Pat Edding to the goal, and he is fouled that time by Trey Boyd.
Great job of running the floor by the Pilots, and Matt looking for that 8th assist there, hoping Pat could finish that and get the and one.
I'll tell you what, Coach Gardner, you know you're of the age to remember those great Boston Celtics and that picturesque fast break that they would run. There's been a couple times that Bethel's been up and down the floor that reminded me of those days when Johnny Hondo Havlicek and some of those guys were running the floor like thoroughbreds.
And not that the Pilots are blessed with speed, it's just hard work and getting up and down the floor and getting to the right spots.
Pat Edding misses a pair of free throws, and neither were those Celtic teams either, though.
Yep, just being disciplined. Yep.
As Pat Edding misses a pair of free throws. Here's Lucky with the 3-point bomb at the top. Goes off the iron. Zach Miller with his second consecutive rebound and possess. Here's Matt Schaus. Shovels it inside to Pat Edding, and Pat wasn't ready for the basketball. Pat's got to keep his hands up.
Absolutely. That's a great pass by Matt Schaus. Matt will get credit for the turnover, but that's a great look there. Good dribble drive.
And that's the tight end missing the perfect pass from the quarterback right there. And saying that because they both played high school football. Pat played at Concordia, and of course Matt did his prep work at Centerville High School. At the top of the ring now, Jerron Jamerson on the dribble, hands that off to Stephon Lucky. Swings the left side now to Trey Boyd. Boyd, jump pass out here deflected. Benner steals it for Bethel. Back here to Travis Smith. Smith to the goal. Running one-hander, no good. Trey Boyd, the rebound.
We've seen that from Travis. He's looking to draw contact. He just needs to slow that one down.
Jamerson over the timeline now for Goshen. Shovels it inside now to Trey Boyd, and Boyd lost the handle on it. Boyd did exactly what Pat Edding did. And a wholesale substitution for the Pilots. A fresh 5, Gerber, Mislin, Ochin, Booker, and Wasink all to the hardwood.
And this is this is a line change because Coach has something to say to that first 5. He's not happy with what took place in the first 3 minutes.
So Caleb Ochin will walk it up over the timeline now into the forecourt. Goes right side now to Landon Booker. Booker back to Ochin at the point. Ochin looking. Comes left side now to Mislin. Mislin steps, looks. Comes back out here to the top to Ochin. Ochin, the southpaw, does the ill-advised jump pass. And here is Stefan Lucky on the drive. Shovels it over here. Here's an off-balance shot on the way by Geske, but a foul call. Boy, I tell you what, if I could change one thing in basketball, it would be outlawing the jump pass. It's the most fundamentally unsound thing that there is in college basketball, or in basketball, period.
Yeah, and this is a tough offensive set for the Pilots because you're facing a 2-3 zone, and Ochen's your only true shooter out there. So it makes it hard to stretch the defense.
Free throw on the way. Good for Billy Geske, a 92% free throw shooter on the season. 63-41, 16:35 to go. Second free throw is also good. 63-42, Booker with the basketball as he comes across the 10-second line now into the forecourt. Guarded out here by Lucky. Cross-court set now to Ochen. Now to the free throw line to Gerber. Gerber drives down the lane. Shot blocked away from behind. That looked like a clean block to me.
Yep, I'm going to say he got him on the wrist, but I agree. It looked like just a clean block there by Glick. It's going to be Glick's third foul. It's a good attack by Gerber getting to the basket.
Gerber will go to the line, the Norwell product, averaging 2 points, 3.5 rebounds. He is a perfect 4 for 4 on the season, and he gets the broadcaster's curse. Now 4 for 5.
Pilots 1 out of 5 from the free throw line, 2 out of 8 for the game.
Glick comes out of the ball game, and Trevor Comissaris, the big 6'8" sophomore from Traverse City, Michigan, will check in. So Gerber with one more. The southpaw eyes, flies, converts 1 of 2. And it's now 64-42 at the 16-20 mark. Here come the Maple Leafs. Jamerson across the 10-second line, hands it off now here to Geske. Drives down the lane. The shot no good, tipped up and around. Who's got it? Comissaris keeps it alive, and then he throws it into the backcourt. And it'll be a turnover on the Maple Leafs. Great hustle by Landon Booker to make sure that Jamerson couldn't do what he needed to do. Ochen to inbound the basketball to the left of the lane, goes over here to Mislin. Mislin jumps, shoots, had it blocked away by Comissaris. The Pilots, have they ever heard of the shot fake inside, Coach? Media timeout, you can discuss that after the timeout. 64-42 Bethel. We'll be back right after this brief timeout here at the 15:59 mark of the second half on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit tcunet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen in action each day by the Gates family with their involvement in the local community. Gates family has been actively involved in many of our local churches, colleges, and universities. The Gates Automotive Group is family-owned and operated and has been serving Michiana area for over 85 years. Back to your pump fake question there, Paul. I think these guys are taught to go ahead and attack the basket and go up strong. And I thought Miz drew some contact there and didn't get the call, but now the pump fake's going to work from the outside, but at this level they don't pump fake down low because there's just all kinds of traffic in there, so they teach them to go up strong and try and draw contact.
64-42. Ochen to inbound it here to Mislin. Miz, left side now to Booker. Landon here on the near wing. Dribbles to the top, swings it right side now to Ochen. Ochen back to Book at the point. Landon on the dribble. Fakes. Goes left side now to Gerber. Gerber's 17-foot shot straight on, no good. Tipped up and in by Mislin. 66-62.
So the hardest thing to do in a 2-3 zone is to box out because there's no guarantee there's going to be somebody on your side of the floor, and so offensively you've got to crash the glass.
Pilots a 66-42 leader. Here's Lucky passing it inside to Comissaris, and he scores the goal. 66-44, 15:25 to go.
Pilots have shown the 2-2-1 full court press 3 times. It's resulted in 6 points tonight.
Wasink on the right wing. Now goes to the right baseline to Mislin, and Mislin had it thrown away. Here's Jamerson with the drive, and this shot no good. Tipped up by Comissaris, still good. And Mislin hustles down and grabs the rebound. Up quick by Pilots on the breakout. Here's Booker on the drive. Coast to coast, missed the shot, but here's Gerber. Back out to the top to Wasink. Ryan for 3, knocks it down. 69-44, Ryan Wasik. That is his first three-point basket of his career.
And
my numbers are right.
He's a nice three-point shooter. We're going to see a lot more threes from him over the next 4 years.
14:43 to go. Ball here in the near baseline. Commissaris comes back out here high to Lucky. Lucky on the right wing. Stephon Lucky wrap around to the low post. Here to Commissaris. Commissaris drives across the lane, left-handed hook, no good. Michael Mislin the rebound. Now to Ochin. Ochin streaks up the left side of the floor. Crosses over on Lucky. Drives, shoots, and a foul call. Nice crossover that time by Caleb Ochin.
Yeah, great job by Caleb to use that crossover dribble and get to the basket.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think Stephon Lucky knew that one was coming.
No, Caleb's deceptive. He's one of those guys that doesn't necessarily pass the eye test when he gets off the team bus, but you watch him play and you're very impressed with the skills.
The Southpaw shooting 73% on the season, able to knock it down. He's coming in averaging 9.5 points, 1.5 rebounds, 2 assists on the season, and wholesale substitutions for the Pilots. Pilots lead at 70-44 at the 14:23 mark. Ochin's second free throw is good, and it's now 71-44. Substitutions. The starters will come back after the 3-minute break, and it'll be Benner along with Smith, Miller, Schaus, and Pat Edding. And there's a turnover on the Maple Leafs, an unforced error, and Neil Young just turns to look at his assistant coaches and say, we just threw it away. That's an unforced error.
Yeah, there was no trap, no denying, just straight up man-to-man defense.
Here is Schaus. They inbound the basketball to Smith. Back here to Benner. Benner looking for some help. Finally to Matt Schaus. Matt directs traffic. Matt still goes inside to Pat Edding. His 14-foot baseline shot is good. Pat Edding has had one whale of a basketball game. 73-44. 14:01 to go in regulation.
Yeah, 13 now for Edding.
Up the right sideline is another turnover on the Maple Leafs.
20.
That's not going to make a coach happy with 20 turnovers. There's still 14 minutes of basketball left.
Pat Edding to inbound the basketball. Taps it over here to Matt Schaus, and Matt will walk it over the timeline now into the forecourt. Goes left side now to Edding. Back here to Zach Miller. Oh,
pump fake to the volleyball
yes,
line.
he did, didn't he? Here's a pass inside by Matt. The ball stolen away nicely by Commissaris to Goshen. Lucky right side now here to Geschke. Billy looking for some help. Goes to the far corner, now to Boyd. His jump shot from three is good. Trey Boyd from downtown. That's his 7th three-point basket of the season right there. 13:26 to go. Matt Schaus backs it out of harm's way, and they'll reset the zone defense. Here's the right elbow Benner, now to the right corner, now to Smith. Travis shovels it over here to Matt Schaus, and Matt's there for the easy layup. Boy, the Bethel defense is just cutting up the zone defense like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, Goshen there trapped in the corner, and Matt took advantage of the open lane.
Here's Lucky with the drive inside. Commissaris had it slapped away that time by Benner. And back over here to Boyd. Boyd loads up the triple again. This time it's Pat Edding with the rebound. Over here to Schaus quickly, and down here to Ryan Benner. Shovels it to Travis. Travis to the goal. Had it packed away. Back here to Geschke. Geschke on the drive for the Maple Leafs. He is fouled on the perimeter. We got to call a shooting foul?
Yeah, going to call Matt there for cutting underneath the defense. Again, you saw Travis at that end run the floor, but just throwing. Yeah, Ryan's calling Travis over to have a little heart-to-heart with him here. He's throwing his body around there, and he's not going to get that call from the officials.
Boy, I tell you, Ryan Lightfoot right now has that competitive face on, and if anybody's ever been around Ryan Lightfoot, that's the face that the Crossroads League and back in those days, the MCC hated for 4 years.
The veins are popping out of Ryan's head. A 26-point lead right now, but that's, you know what, because you coach your players to play every game like it's a 2-point game.
Pair of free throws are good. It's 75-49 favor of the Pilots. Benner on the far side gives way to Schaus, and Schaus at the right 45-foot mark. Now we'll dribble to the left side. They'll run the weave here. Smith at the top. Hands it off to Zach Miller. Zach on the dribble. Shovels it inside to Pat, and Pat's there with the two-hand dunk again. What a great pass that time from Zach Miller on the dish.
Yeah, the defense closes out. You have to respect his three-point shooting, so he's able to pump fake and put it on the floor.
With the basketball here near side, it's Terry Cook Jr. Shot no good. A rebound, Matt Schaus. Matt pushing it up. Matt in traffic, looking for some help. Shovels it over to Travis Smith. Smith to the goal, and he scores.
That's a great job of going up strong straight to the basket. Not throwing his body in there, but playing strong.
12:01 to go. Travis Smith scores. Here is Trey Boyd losing the handle on it. And they're going to call a foul on Pat.
I think Pat was out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
No, deflection out of bounds.
There you go.
Goshen's going to keep possession.
Yeah, that you just saw a complete difference. That talk that Ryan had with Travis. He caught that. He went up strong and finished.
With the basketball here is Trey Boyd. Shot blocked away by Edding. Shoots on the follow-up and scores. 79-51. 11:46 to go. Here's Zach Miller. Loads up the 27-footer off the iron. A good tip by Benner into the hands of Commissaris, and then a foul call on Pat Edding. That's one of those silly Pat Edding fouls that he cannot afford. He's got to be disciplined through that stuff.
Yeah, and that's Pat's third foul. And we've talked all year about the fact that he gets himself in foul trouble, and as we get into crossroads play and looking ahead to postseason play.
Well, he and I talked about it before the ball game.
Yeah.
I walked up to him and I says, you need to stay out of foul trouble.
Absolutely. The Pilots need Pat Edding on the floor to be successful this year.
Here's Stephon Lucky here in between the rings. Goes right side now here to Cook. Cook back on the far side now. Three-point shot on the way. Good for Trey Boyd. Trey lighting the lamp out there. 79-54. 11:16 to go. Stranger things have happened.
Boyd with 11-10 here in the second half.
Schaus at the top. Goes now here to Benner. Benner at the free throw line. Turns and shoots. The shot no good. Rebound. Hauled out of there by Terry Cook Jr. The Cincinnati product. Up here to Lucky. Lucky with the crossover. Backs it out of harm's way. And they'll reset the offense here on the near wing. Lucky goes now to the high post here to Trevor Commissaris. Commissaris goes right side. Now here Zach Miller comes away with the steal. Zach is going to go coast to coast. Oh, and he missed the shot. And then here's Matt Schaus with the follow.
I think Zach thought he was going to dunk that. Coach Lightfoot just stood up and said, are you kidding me? What are you doing? The guy knocks down shots from the volleyball line, not layups.
And Matt Schaus will come, or check that. Travis Smith will come out of the ball game now, and Landon Booker will come back in.
If you're Coach Young, you're saying we've played 9.5 minutes of basketball, even in the second half. Small victories here.
Right. With the basketball here is Lucky. Driving the left baseline. A reverse layup. Oh, with the beautiful spin move, and it scores. 81-56. Here is Ryan Benner with a drive down the lane. Right side, and he scores. 83-56. 10:20 to go.
And you talk about the Pirates break. Give up two, but get them right back.
Here's Terry Cook. Back out here to the left side now to Boyd. Boyd drives. He's running one-hander. Deflected around and into the hands of Matt Schaus. Smash pushing the ball up, and he's fouled driving down the right sideline.
And Boyd grabbing his arm and not letting go. Not sure what that's all about.
And Matt Schaus will trigger the inbounds on the far sideline in front of the, which is a relatively weak Whitecamp Wackos group over there. They need to, what has happened here? Where are the Wackos at?
I don't know what's going on this week.
And that certainly is not an excuse. Here's Matt Schaus on the right wing. Drives through traffic and a hand check foul. And that will be the fifth on the team from Elkhart County. And the first whistled on Trey Boyd. No, check that on Jake Clemens. My apologies. Here is Miller back to inside, and Ryan Benner threw it away. Ill-advised pass. Here's Jamerson back the other way. Back into the corner. Three-point shot goes off the iron that time by Clemens. And here comes Schaus for the Pilots. And he had it stripped away from behind. Here's Jamerson. Look out here. Jamerson in traffic. Driving, shooting, and scoring. He's a sensational open floor player.
And it's getting sloppy out there. Neither coach can like that.
And Jamerson hurt his left knee. Here's the pass inside Benner to Miller, and knocked away. Nice job that time by Glick to knock it off Pat Edding.
Pilots now with 16 turnovers, 9 here in the second half.
A rather lethargic second half by the Pilots after they jumped to a 60 to 34 clinic-like first half. Billy Geschke tries to split the double team, and here's the ball knocking off Landon. Landon hit it off Geschke, and it'll be turnover on the Leafs.
Yep, off Geschke's knee. 22 turnovers, and we talked, Goshen's playing a good second half. The Pilots are playing a sloppy second half, yet it's been an even second half.
So Matt Schaus will have the basketball here to stare into the heart of the 2-3 zone defense. Goes to Landon Booker on the near wing. Landon goes over here to Pat Edding. Pat Edding goes to the goal. He scores, and he is fouled. 85 to 58. Pat Edding with another nice, strong, powerful move on the lower block left.
Yeah, Edding now with 17, going to try to make it 18.
Something that might have gotten missed by a lot of folks there is Edding's open because of Ryan Wasick making a great screen there.
And looks like Commissaris is bleeding, and he's going to come out of the ball game. And that will bring in 6'5" senior Kyle Capps from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Went to Mount Clemens, Michigan High School.
Had a chance to coach against Kyle for the past few seasons at the JV level. One of the nicest young men and one of the hardest competitors that I've coached against. And so good to see him after 3 years getting some varsity action here and sticking around with the program and working hard every day.
Pat Edding will try to convert the old-fashioned three-point play, and he does so. 86-58 in favor of the Bethel Pilots with 9:02 to go in the ball game. Here's Clemens going to the corners, a drive. Oh, nice reverse layup that time by Billy Geschke. 86-60. Here's Landon Booker, had it stolen away. Hustling back to the way it's Geschke. Geschke drives and it's stripped away, and a foul called on the Pilots.
Matt Schaus is going to pick up his third foul.
Pat Edding's career high is 22. He is sitting at 17 right now. And with 8:42 to go in the ball game, Billy Geschke, a 92% free throw shooter. This is like automatic when you put him there.
Curse of Paul Condry? Nope.
Not this time.
Well, he's 5 of 5 tonight.
86-61. Our coverage of college basketball being presented in part by our friends at the Gates Automotive Group today. Second free throw good.
The Gates promise of fairness, honesty, and integrity can be seen in action each day by the Gates family with their involvement in the local community. Gates been serving the Michiana area for over 85 years.
Here's Matt Schaus over the timeline now. Syracuse on top of Indiana, 33-29 at the half. Caleb Ochin on the far right wing. Goes now to Matt Schaus. Schaus, right elbow, pass here to Booker on the near corner. Blandon drives, cut off, hands it back out to Ochin. The southpaw for three, off the iron, no good. Edding taps it down, and he just knocked Jerron Jamerson into January.
That's a tough foul right there.
Oh, you're kidding me.
They're calling the foul on Pat. Pat had inside position and just jumped up for the rebound.
You're kidding me. And Pat will pick up his fourth.
Everybody from both teams hung out down here thinking Pat was going to the foul line, and he just went straight up for the rebound. Yeah, coach is questioning Kyle with that one, and Pat fouls enough on purpose. He doesn't need those calls going against him.
Well, there was a couple ghost fouls in that Iowa game that were just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a tough call by Kyle there. I thought both players are going straight up.
With a basketball to move from left to right is Stephon Lucky.
I didn't see your wife hand you the Syracuse IU score. I was wondering where you were watching that game at.
With the basketball here. Goshen College in the half court set. Lucky on the far side. Guarded out there by Schaus. Still on the dribble. Thank you, the officials.
Need to move Bill out of our way there. There you go.
Yeah, with the basketball at the top now, Geschke. Swings it right elbow now here to Glick. Back to Geschke. Geschke on the dribble. Little give and go now to Glick. He drives to the goal, and he's fouled again. And with 7:47 to go.
And Pat's evening is done.
So Pat Edding is fouled out of the ball game at the 7:47 mark. And we have a timeout, media. We'll be right back after this brief timeout. Pilots 86-62 leaders. We'll be back right after this brief timeout on Regional Radio Sports.
Summer is fast approaching, and so are sports camps at Bethel College. If your child or family member is looking to bring their game to a whole new level, then Bethel sports camps are the perfect choice. Camps are for boys and girls ages 5 to 18 and include girls basketball, boys basketball, father-son overnight basketball, cheerleading, girls softball, boys baseball, track and field, and several different soccer camps for boys and girls. There will also be tennis for both boys and girls volleyball, various overnight camps, and so much more. Our camp instructors are some of the most recognized coaches here at Bethel and bring many years of wisdom and expertise from their respective sports. Your child will be taught both the basics and advanced skills of their chosen activity in a fun, relaxed atmosphere. For registration and more information such as dates, times, and pricing on all of Bethel sports camps, visit us online at bethelcollegepilots.com/camps. Spirited competition, life-changing connections. Bethel College Athletics. We are the ground for spirited connections.
7:47 to go in regulation. Bethel an 86-62 leader. Bethel had a 60-34 lead at the intermission, in case you're just joining us. Grace is in top of Iwu, 56-54 with 5:54 to go, as Glick is able to knock down a charity toss.
Record for Bethel basketball for season total for fouls in a season, 123. So with Pat averaging 4 fouls a game, he might break that record this year.
2 free throws are in the well, and it's now 86-64.
Any way you can get in the record book, right?
That's right. Here's Schaus going here to the left elbow now to Glick. Glick comes over the back and fouls Ryan Benner. And that'll send Ryan Benner to the charity stripe. Ryan Benner on the season. Let's take a look at the senior. You heard him at halftime. Averages 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers a game. He's shooting 52% from beyond the arc, 46% from the field, 78% from the charity stripe, averaging 16.2 points a game and 5.7 rebounds a game. And the right-hander from Mishawaka converts the one in bonus. 87-64. Hey, I want to remind you, Coach Gardner and I will be broadcasting live on Friday night on 95.7 The Fan, WAOR. We'll be at Riley High School as
the Cat House,
as the Northridge Raiders take on the South Bend Riley Wildcats. The pride of the South Side will be in action. Free throws were good, 88-64. Should be fun. And here's the steal by the Pilots. Up court quickly, Ochin. Over here to Schaus. Schaus to the goal, and he's hammered.
That's a great pass by Caleb Ochin.
Matter of fact, we have a lot of great games in high school basketball this week, Matt Copsey. Would you not agree?
Yeah, as the last foul is going to be on Kyle Capps. Dwayne Lewandowski and I will be over in Valparaiso for the Penn Valparaiso game. Pat Doherty and John Coggins will be at Northside Gym for the annual rivalry between Elkhart Memorial and Elkhart Central.
And 89 points are in the book now for the Pilots as Matt Schaus is able to knock down that toss here at 7:28.
15 for Matt, trying to make it 16.
Well, he has really become the strongest player physically in this league, Coach.
And
physically,
and also the thing I've been impressed with this year is just becoming more of a vocal leader. He's always been a leader by his actions, but becoming more vocal this year.
I mean, there's physically nobody that we've seen thus far that can match him up in physical strength.
No,
there may be some more athletic players. There may be better shooters. There may be here's a shot block by Wasink. Up court quickly, Ryan Benner driving, shooting, missed it, but tipped up and in by Ochin. 92-64.
Great job with the Pilots following up that for the miss and putting it in.
6:50 to go here in regulation. Bethel a 92-64 leader. Here's the ball into the hands of Getschke. Goes into the left elbow now to Kyle Capps. Oh, nice give and go. Capps down the lane off the assist from Commissarios. Beautiful basket by the Leafs. That's 92-66.
Real nice two-man game.
Schaus right side now to Miller. Miller goes inside to the free throw line to Wasink. He turns, shoots the 14-footer, and nails it. 94-66. 6:24 to go.
We haven't seen Ryan's offense that much early in the season, but he's going to be a good scorer for the Pilots as the year goes on.
There's the ball into the hands of Getschke at the top. Now on the left side, he loads up the triple, and he knocks it down. 94-69. 6:07 to go in the ballgame. Here's a jump shot from Wasink from the right corner. Good off the assist from Zach Miller. 96-69. I'm thinking Zach Miller may have 4 or 5 assists in this ballgame.
Yeah, I think if I'm Coach Young, I'm happy with the offensive end this half, but there's been no defense this half.
Here's Lucky with the jump shot from 17. Foul line extended left, good. 96-71. 5:39 to go. Here's Zach Miller. Shot no good. He missed. Unbelievable. Stop the presses. Lucky with the drive. Oh, my. Just totally ate up Ryan Wasink. Ryan, you left a piece of your attire out there. 96-73.
Just a good hesitation dribble by Lucky and great English off the glass again.
Here's Ochin here on the near wing. Goes back out to Matt Schaus. Matt will stop and pop from 3 and knock it down. 99-73. Matt Schaus. And a timeout Goshen College with 5:03 to go. And the Pilots in command. We'll hit the home stretch. We're live from the Gates Gym. We'll be right back after this brief timeout on Regional Radio Sports.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole, wishing you all a happy and a Merry Christmas.
The joy of living is in the giving. So let's give lots of toys for tots.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa fill his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Score update, 3 minutes to go at Winona Lake. Grace leads Iwu 58-56.
On the floor, Miller along with Ryan Benner, Matt Schaus, Michael Mislin, and the big man has made an appearance, Keith Cochran, the 7-foot, 201-pound sophomore. And the Leafs will come back with Geschke, Lucky. In addition to that, they'll have Caps, Jamerson, and Commissaris. Here's Caps with the basketball, backing it out. Wrap around to the low post. Here's Commissaris, left-handed hook, no good. Ryan Benner lost the handle on the rebound. It deflects right into the hands of Mislin. I think if Jamerson knew it was going to deflect, but he was going back the other way. Here's Mislin, bounce pass to Cochran. Cochran shot rejected. Welcome to the big time there, Kate.
Kyle Caps said, not in my house.
Here is a pass out here to the right corner, three-point shot, no good. On the offering by Geschke. Here Geschke is going to think about it again. He'll load it up again. This time he misses, but Mislin's there for the rebound. Michael will get it over to Matt Schaus, and Matt will say, slow it down, like a good quarterback would do. He's going to look at that play clock. Going to take his time. Schaus at the point now. He drives through traffic, throws up a prayer. No, tipped up by Cochran, but into the hands of Mislin. Mislin finally to the goal. He scores, and then he is fouled. So Michael Mislin puts the Pilots over the century mark, and with the old-fashioned three-point play pending, Schaus to the bench. He's done for the night. Benner to the bench. And Mike Lightfoot looked right square in the eyes that time of Matt Schaus and says, great effort out there tonight. I read his lips.
Yeah, Matt's done a nice job of scoring when he needs to score, finding his teammates when they're open, and just settling things down.
Mislin's free throws off the rim, no good, and the rebound hauled out of there by Dalton Shelter, a 5'11 freshman. Only a second game he's played in. He did his prep work up in Butler, Indiana at Eastside High School. Here's Taps with the basketball, foul line extended left. Into the low post, ball is knocked away by Mislin.
Good hustle.
And Mislin stepped on the sideline.
Good hustle by Miz. Had to throw Commissaris out of his way to get after that one. Freshman Josh Glass making his first varsity appearance.
Josh Glass from Salone High School in Ohio, a 6'3", 180-pound freshman. As a high schooler, averaged 15.5 points a game, 6 rebounds. Shot 40% from beyond the arc as a high schooler.
Josh has played the last 4 JV games with us.
There's a jump shot from the top of the circle, no good on the offering by Terry Cook. Mislin the rebound. Give us an idea about his game, Coach.
Real athletic. He can shoot from the outside. He can get to the basket. Real good defender as well. So Josh is going to be a good addition to the team.
Glass comes out to the top now to Caleb Ochin. Back to Glass. Glass will load up the jump shot. Bricked it. Rebound deflected into the hands of Terry Cook.
And he's excited because he's getting his first varsity action.
Absolutely. Over the timeline now, here are the Maple Leafs. Here's Cook in the near corner. Shovels it inside of the block. The ball is deflected around, and the Pilots come away with it out of the scrum. Glass from right to left goes, and here's a turnover. And here's Commissaris on the drive with a two-hand dunk. 101-75 with 2:50 to go. Nice smile on the face of Neil Young. Hadn't had a lot to smile about tonight.
Those guys are playing hard all the way to the end.
Folks, tell you what, it's the bottom line is if you got to add someone to your prayer list, put Neil Young on it. What a great contributor he has been to the institution that's Goshen College. Here's a drive to the right side. Shelter head double team. Comes back outside, and here's the
saving
ball.
a beauty.
I was
I
screened
beat
out
you
of
to
the
it
way.
because you were blocked, yeah.
Absolutely.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm assuming it's a hockey term.
It would be.
Okay.
I was screened inside. A lot of traffic in front of the net, I think. Speaking of traffic in front of the net, the boys on Frozen Pond will be in action tonight at the United Center after coming off the most successful circus trip in the
6-1.
Yeah, great.
Taking on Dallas tonight.
Did they call a foul on Travis, or did they say it was out of bounds?
I think he was out of bounds.
I would hope so. That's what it was. My goodness, I thought that was going to be a foul. We'll get an update here momentarily from the IWU score with Grace. Here's the ball here on the perimeter now. Dalton Shelter.
Good.
Here's the
read by
ball
Travis.
stolen away by Travis as he read the eyes of the defender, and Travis goes coast to coast for the basket. 103 to 75.
5 or 6 steals for Travis tonight.
Ball on the near wing now. Dalton Shelter comes back out to the top now to Jake Clemens. And a foul called on Travis Smith. Boy, I tell you what, Commissaris is sucking dirty pond water out there. He is gassed. I don't think he's played these kind of minutes. Grace on top of IWU, 60 to 59 with 1:28 to go in the second half. Free throw deflects off the iron, but into the hands of Shelter. Shelter double team here in the corner. Comes back here to Cook on the right wing. Back to Shelter in the right corner. Oh, he traveled, no call. Here's the double team on the right block, and a foul called.
That's the stuff, though. 28-point game. You can't give up an offensive rebound here. And that's the type of stuff that drives Coach nuts. Yes, Bethel's going to win the game, but it's these little things. There's no such thing as garbage minutes in a coach's perspective. And so you got to play hard every time you're out there.
It's the first time this evening or the first time this year that the Maple Leafs have given up 100 points on the season. Over here on the near side, Smith goes into the corner to Gerber. Back out here to Ochin. 96 seconds to go. The Bethel College Pilots, ranked number 7 in the NAI poll, and are out to their 9th win of the campaign. Glass, far wing, comes back to Ochin at the top. Now to the Gerber on the left elbow, and here's a foul called on the Pilots. Looks like they're going to call an illegal screen there, Coach.
Keith Cochran.
Keith, say it's not so.
Keith's got a big smile on his face. And the big fella checking in here, Sunday
Mahaja. I believe that was how the pronunciation.
Sunday's played some JV against me as well, and just another nice guy.
With the basketball. Goshen in the half-court set as we're nearing the 80-second mark. Caps jump shot from the left side, no good. A rebound, deflect out of bounds off of Keith Cochran.
Grace still leads IWU by 1, 37 seconds to go.
To inbound the basketball. Out here on the far corner.
Now we're going to call it really close here for the final 2 minutes.
Free throw line opportunity coming your way for Dalton Shelter. The Bethel College Pilots taking a look at the schedule. 1, 2, 3. That'll be the 4th time they have cracked the century mark this year. Our score now 103 to 76 after the free throw. Here's a jump shot.
Keith Cochran,
your man.
Good find by Caleb. Yeah, Keith's been playing JV for me this year, and it's really helped his game.
Out here on the perimeter now is Terry Cook. Cook on the crossover. Jump pass into the lane. Here is Caps back over here to Cook. Beautiful give and go. Sunday Mayasha scores inside. 105 to 78. Final possession of the contest here. So the 100th meeting between the Maple Leafs and the Pilots are going to go in favor of the home team for the 73rd time. The Pilots now have won 3 straight in the series and now won 8 of the last 11. And the Pilots now recorded their 1,300th 334th win. They are now 5-0 at home. Head coach Mike Lightfoot, victory number 693 to go against his 256 losses. The number 7 team in the country flex its muscles here today and get the job done. And we'll try to get some thoughts from Matt Schaus here on the postgame show. 105-78, the final. Coach, final thought.
Pilots did what they're supposed to do. Came out and took care of things on the home court. And good team effort, good shooting, good defense. Great job of this guy in front of us, Matt Schaus here, just running the show.
Hey, buddy, since the second half of the game against IWU. By the way, IWU game was going down to the wire. It's
Grace up by 1 with 37 seconds to go.
Okay, so that would help your cause, would it not?
Yes, it would, yeah.
All right, you're in that groove right now, buddy. I think you're the strongest, physically the strongest player that you've had to compete against. Let's talk about the off-season work in the weight room, the strength and conditioning. I think that, once again, you and I have had the discussion about football mentality since I've known you. I feel that has propelled you to the newfound confidence. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I mean, this summer I was in there 6 out of 7 days a week, taking Sundays off in the weight room, getting myself in shape. That's how my game is. I'm down there with the big boys, so I got to have some muscle, some weight on me to be able to finish and do that kind of thing.
Well, you've got a very unique situation. You've stepped up. You're starting to get in that groove of shooting the basketball. We've always known that you've been able to pass the basketball, and you've taken advantage of the drive. Are you physically looking more for your shot than you normally would?
I don't think so. I think I'm just letting the game come to me. A lot of times the teams are taking Zach away, so I realize that I have to make some shots because I'm going to be open a lot of time because he is getting face guarded, double team, that kind of thing.
When those big guys in the paint, like Pat Edding did this evening, scored eight of the first 10 points, that really confuses the heck out of anybody that's trying to match up because now they think, okay, we got this guy who shoots from the volleyball line, we got this guy who drives all over the place, and now we got these big guys. Can you see the problems that people are having trying to scout against you guys?
I mean, we're hard to match up against because a big's going to have to guard Benner most of the time, and he's able to take him off the drive, that kind of thing. But if Pat's down there scoring like he did, playing strong, we're going to be hard to beat.
Okay, you're going to be taking on one of the most well-coached teams on your schedule coming up on Saturday against Spring Arbor. You can't sit and rest on your laurels after this one. Talk about your focus going into the game against SAU.
Every conference game is a test. Doesn't matter who it is from top to bottom. But definitely Spring Arbor, it's always a tough game, especially up there. We're definitely going to have to focus these next 3 days, go over the game plan, matchups, that kind of thing. But I think we stay focused and prepare well, and we'll be fine.
Just so you know, and I know you don't care, 19 points, 9 assists, 3 turnovers, so that's a great ratio right there. A block shot and a pair of steals in 29 minutes.
7 for 10 from the field, which saw at Iowa as well. You're just good shooting, and you hit the nail on the head, Matt. I think the biggest change I've seen you this year is that you're scoring when we need points, but you're getting others involved first, and then when they take Zach away, you say, okay, now I'll step up and knock down the shot. So just doing a great job of running things out there.
Thank you.
Great job. Congratulations, Matt. Matt Schaus joining us here on the postgame show, and once again showing his moxie if need be. Coach, let's go through some of these final numbers. You and Matt, I tell you what, this was one of those games that was fun. Oh, we got some scores, Matt. I'll let you regroup there. Huntington beats Spring Arbor 75-62, and St. Francis defeats Taylor tonight 79-56. And with 4 seconds to go, Grace and IWU are tied at 60-60. All right, Matt, take it away and knock out those statistics.
Okay, for Goshen, Billy Getschke, 4 of 10 from the field, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 15 points. Stefan Lucky, 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 10 points. Jerron Jamerson, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 17 points. Matt Glick, 4 of 4 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 11 points. Trey Boyd, 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 11 points. Terry Clark, 1 of 3 from the field, 0 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 points. Jake Clemens, 1 of 2 from the field, 0 of 1 from the free throw line, 3 points. Dalton Shetler, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 point. Kyle Capps, 1 of 3 from the field, 2 points. Trevor Comissaris, 2 of 5 from the field for 4 points. And Sunday Mahaja, 1 of 1 from the field for 2 points. Goshen, 28 out of 59 from the field, 48%. 6 out of 19 from three-point range, 32%. 16 out of 23 from the free throw line for 70%. For the Pilots, Travis Smith, 2 of 4 from the field for 4 points. Matt Schaus, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 19 points. Zach Miller, 8 of 18 from the field, including 7 of 14 from three-point range, 23 points. Ryan Benner, 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 7 points. Pat Edding, 8 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, 18 points. Josh Glass played but did not score. Caleb Ochin, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 11 points. Landon Booker, 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 7 points. Brandon Gerber, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 point. Michael Mislin, 3 of 4 from the field, 0 of 1 from the free throw line, 6 points. Ryan Wassink, 3 of 4 from the field for 7 points. Keith Cochran, 1 of 2 from the field for 2. Pilots, 41 out of 72 from the field, 57%. 13 out of 24 from three-point range, 54%. 10 out of 17 from the free throw line for 59%. Pilots won the battle of the boards, 35-34. 9 rebounds for Michael Mislin, and 6 rebounds for Jerron Jamerson and Trevor Comissaris for Goshen. 14 assists for Goshen, 3 each for Lucky, Boyd, and Comissaris. 28 assists for the Pilots, 9 for Matt Schaus. 25 turnovers for Goshen, 20 for Bethel. 6 block shots for Goshen, 2 each by Comissaris and Boyd. 3 block shots for the Pilots, 1 for Schaus, 1 for Edding, and 1 for Ryan Wassink. 14 steals for Goshen, 4 for Jerron Jamerson, 16 for the Pilots, 4 each for Booker and Travis Smith.
All right, to give you an update, the Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats won 61-60, and that puts Huntington and Iwu and St. Francis all perfect at 2-0, as Huntington beats Spring Arbor 75-62. St. Francis over Taylor 79-56. So we have 3 teams at 2-2, 3 teams at 1-1. Do not have the score on the Mount Vernon at Marion game. That's the only score that we do not have. So, Coach, you got a final thought?
Yeah, it's a 27-point win for the Pilots. Good win, but if you're coaching the Pilots, you're probably looking at 20 turnovers, 10 for 17 from the foul line, and they gave up 11 offensive rebounds. So even in a big win, there's coachable moments. There's things you take away and say, this isn't good enough next time out.
All right, that's going to do it for our broadcast here today. So the 100th meeting between the Maple Leafs and the Pilots goes to the homestanding Maple Leafs. Or it goes to the Pilots, excuse me, as Jerron Jamerson was just coming over here to chat with us. That was a little ADHD moment for yours truly. Thank you very much. The Maple Leafs dropped to 3-6 on the season, 0-2 overall. Pilots now 9-1 and 1-1 in league play. We'll be back with you again on Saturday when the Pilots will be here at Bethel College to take on the Spring Arbor University Cougars. That's going to do it. Once again, we want to thank our fine sponsors who make it happen here today, including our friends at the Gates Automotive Group, Beef O'Brady's, Teachers Credit Union, Hacienda Mexican Restaurants, Cardinal Bus, our friends at Teachers Credit Union, and anchoring our coverage all season long, our friends at the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, call 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. Once again, final score here from the Gates Gymnasium. The Bethel College Pilots defeat the Goshen College Maple Leafs 105-78. Great work, as always, by Brad Brink and Pat Doherty up there in the Crow's Nest, taking care of the business here at hand. For Matt Copsey and Coach Mark Gardner, I'm Paul Country. God bless you all. Semper Fidelis. Good night, everyone.